Stand by to launch FanStream Sports.
3, 2, 1. Let's start.
Hello, sports fans. Welcome to FanStream Sports. Nothing but pure sports. This is the JP Show.
JP, it is so good to hear you back on the air.
Stand by. Now, here's JP.
All right, welcome in to another edition of the JP Peterson Show here on this beautiful Wednesday morning. Oh, it's lovely for so many reasons for me today. But most of all, that wonderful WBC game. Well, because I didn't have to get up real early today. But but mostly because last night's WBC game was so freaking good. I had my grilled steak, my steamed broccoli, nice little side pasta dish with my computer watching Bally's and the Lightning game, and then the WBC on the big screen. I was set up last night.
You look like a king. When you sent me that photo last night.
I was ready. I was like, okay, this is good.
I mean, your presentation blew mine out of the water.
Yeah, it was good. That steak was fantastic. I marinated it overnight. Ooh.
So nice. So tell me how you had a steak for dinner, and all I had was a loaf of La Segunda Cuban bread, which it's not bad. But not bad. But that's
nothing on the bread, just the bread?
Nothing on the bread, just the bread itself.
What are you, in jail? Will you just get bread and water?
We have not made the trip to the store yet since we've gotten back.
Marriage is not starting well for you. First week and you get a loaf of bread.
I got a loaf of bread
even make?
To put in our new toaster. That was it.
Casey, you got to pick up your game. You got to pick up your. What are we doing here? We get married and we stop trying.
Yeah, so then you.
Is that what we do? The courtship's over. Now we're not even. We get a loaf for WBC Lightning night. We get a loaf of bread.
A loaf of bread.
Wow.
A loaf of bread, no butter on it or anything.
No butter?
No butter. And then
butter?
You're sending me a piece of steak, and I see a little bowl of ravioli I think there was in there or something.
What, you walk over and put a loaf of bread on a plate? Like, what is that?
She never came downstairs.
Wow. Oh, she's sending a message.
And I was working, so I had to fend for myself. I looked, and we had a loaf of bread from La Segunda, and I was like, well, here we go.
Oh, my God. It's so funny. Yeah, get used to it. You got to learn how to cook for yourself. Nobody cooked that for me last night. I cooked it for myself.
Well, some of us have to work a very tentative job.
I was working
while watching the baseball game and the hockey game, trying to do all these things and take care of the dog. She went upstairs and left the dog downstairs with me too. Let's add that in there as well.
And the dog.
The
puppy.
Okay, so I was wearing like 5 or 6 hats last night.
Yeah, you were. Oh, that does not seem equal.
And the foot. I mean,
and a broken foot.
My goodness.
Well, welcome to marriage. This is get used to it. This is how it works. It's all downhill from here.
I'm sure pal. she's gonna listen to this later, and she's gonna say that I'm lying. I know it.
You probably
so
are.
It's probably gonna happen.
You probably are. It's all about perspective. Anyway, what a game last night! And you got to be kidding me. It comes down to Ohtani versus Trout, and it was a great game back and forth with the USA and Japan. If you're not watching the World Baseball Classic, I guess I should set up the principles here. By the way, Jason Romano is going to join us at 11:15. He had 4 of his clients in the game last night, all many of them playing very important roles in the game, and certainly in the entire Classic. A lot of local kids here, Pete Alonso, Kyle Tucker, were playing as well, and it's so many storylines developing out of it. He was at the game, at the Venezuela game, that the USA came back and won with a grand slam. So he got to experience all the WBC from a very different angle with his clients, obviously being part of it. What a great experience it was for so many, and I'll be interested to hear how the players really feel about that. And it's interesting. I think more than anything, this has transformed the World Baseball Classic into something that players are going to talk about. And Mike Trout needs a lot of credit for this as well, because my understanding is it was DeRosa, the manager's first call was to Mike Trout. And when Mike Trout got on board, he got everybody else on board. This should be something that should bring out American pride, if that's even left anymore. And USA, have they ever won the World Baseball Classic?
Oh, they won the last one, yeah.
They won the last one. Okay, yeah. And I know the Japan won the first two.
Japan won 06 and 09.
Yeah.
And I believe Dominican was 2013.
Yeah. So, I mean, it should be a source of pride to win this. I mean, we call our World Series a World Series. I mean, but a lot of these players now play in Major League Baseball. But this, to me, is the World Series. This is the World Series, and if all these players, and the only problem is the United States pitchers need to be more represented.
Yeah, but there's a lot of factors that go in there. I think Wainwright's probably the most proud guy to put on that uniform if you listen to him talk about it. But
God bless him. Why aren't there more guys with that attitude?
Well, he said
ugh.
Well, it's not. He actually spoke on this because he saw a lot of people complaining on Twitter about the pitching staff going in and the pitching staff kind of letting them down early on, and he was like, "Listen, there are a ton of guys, some of the best pitchers in the game that are American who want to be here, would love to play, but it's just the teams step in." It's something with the insurance that gets involved, the contracts, all this kind of stuff that, for whatever reason, stops these guys from playing. And
yeah, we got to figure that out.
And it's a big thing because
we got to figure it out.
The top 10 pitchers in baseball last year that were all USA, the list is like crazy, and none of them were here.
Yeah, it matters. I mean, if those guys pitch, we win. It's that simple.
Well,
it's that simple.
I don't know about that, actually, because yesterday the pitching looked fine to me.
Yeah, the pitching was good.
Pitching looked fine to me.
Yeah, but just in a sense that if those guys are on the mound, the entire complexion of the tournament changes.
I'm sure it does, but like everybody was acting like the U.S. sent like nothing but scrubs there. I'm not going to say that Adam Wainwright's a scrub.
No.
I mean, Merrill Kelly, is he a household name? No. But is he a scrub? No. I'm not going to say Kyle Freeland's a scrub. And my goodness, the relievers, are we going to act like Jason Adams can't pitch?
Nope.
I understand that yesterday he had to get out of a big jam.
He almost blew it.
But
he got out of it.
He's one of the best relievers. Devin Williams, one of the best relievers. Bednar's one of the best relievers. Aaron Loop was Nels. They brought the best relievers to the game. They just didn't get the starters.
Yeah, which makes a difference. It makes a difference.
Well, when you have Japan, who's, everybody that's coming out there is just like insanely talented.
Yeah, exactly. So you got to match player for player. And whatever these deals are, it's about money. And this is the weird thing about it is, how many pitchers get hurt in spring training? All the time.
A ton.
All the time.
I mean, guys now got hurt before spring training.
Right. I mean, they get hurt all the time. We act like, it's a World Baseball Classic every 4 years. It could wreck my pitching staff. Look, I'm sorry for Edwin Diaz. I mean, that's a tough break. But he could have got injured.
It didn't happen during the game.
Right, exactly. He could have got that could have happened during spring training. These guys are out there pitching every.
If you want to give me a better example, if people continue to go down that route, Altuve now is going to be out for a period because he'll
be back for the playoffs.
I mean, they were cautious though. Like Kyle Tucker didn't play last night because he tweaked his ankle or something. So DeRosa held him out.
Right.
Like he didn't push it. Like outside of that, I'm like, were there really any other injuries?
No, it matters. And now the World Baseball Classic matters. It matters to the fans. It matters to the players. It matters. So let's treat it like that.
Oh, to me,
why do we always have to prioritize money and everything that's going on in the major leagues over things that bring national pride?
Because to me, the last 2 weeks of this tournament, whatever it was, this is now the premier event in baseball. It's not the All-Star game anymore, which has been watered down. It's not the playoffs. It's not even the World Series. This is the premier event.
I agree.
We said it with Japan and Mexico on Monday. Can't remember a game that I didn't have a rooting interest in that I was so glued to my TV for.
Right. I had no rooting interest whatsoever.
And then yesterday, coming on the show, you were like, I kind of want to be in Miami tonight.
Wechter went.
Last night.
I saw him on his.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, Wechter went. We'll get him on the show.
And before it's like I watched all the pregame. Like the pregame on MLB Network started at 4 o'clock. I watched the entire pregame building up and just watched the hype go and build and build and build. And like the scene was so epic. It was like almost Field of Dreams-esque a little bit.
Yeah.
With the U.S. coming out from one side and Japan comes out. And there's Ohtani holding the Japan flag. Here's Trout holding the USA flag. The storyline right there. The two guys on the same team, which suck, by the way. And here they are on the biggest stage, probably the most watched baseball game of all time last night.
I think when the numbers come in, because first of all, there were probably 80 million people watching in Japan.
Yeah,
no question.
That was
maybe the entire country.
That was
last
night
million.
was a bigger home run than anything the MLB has ever had, in my opinion.
Yeah. So you had that, and then the end is just ridiculous. Well, Schwarber comes up in the 7th with 2 on, I think, or the bases loaded, 2 on, and he gets a fastball that he just missed and pops out to center field. The next at bat, he hits a freaking bomb into the seats and makes it 3-2. But that was the moment, and he knew it too. He knew he missed it. But I'm not putting the blame on Schwarber. So he got a home run later on. But the bats were a little silent last night. They just couldn't get a big hit. I think they were 0 for 6 with runners in scoring position. You just got to get, guys of that caliber have got to come through. But the pitching was tremendous on the Japanese side. And then it comes down to a one-run game, Mike Trout versus Shohei Ohtani. And it was an epic battle. I think he took ball one, and then Ohtani rolls up 2 successive fastballs right down the middle of the plate, but at 100 miles an hour even. And Trout swung right through both of them. So then Ohtani at 2-2 or 1-2 pulls a fastball at 102 and throws it into the dirt. And then I think was this a 2-2 pitch that he got him with? He's got to be sitting there. Is he coming back with 100, or is he going to go breaking stuff? I mean, I don't even know. If he goes breaking ball there, how the hell do you hit it? And Trout did not. But this was the call. This is from FS1, I believe, the American call. Then we're going to play the Japanese version. So if you speak Japanese, you'll probably really enjoy it. And even if you don't, you will.
Trout's ready. 3-2. He struck him out. Ohtani strikes out Trout, and Japan's back on top of the baseball world.
Cut away to Trout going, oh, how did I miss those 2 fastballs?
He was not locked in. I have to be honest with you. I mean, I'm not going to go as far to say, I'll just put it this way. Mike Trout has not played a meaningful baseball game, truly meaningful, in 9 years.
Yeah, it's true.
3 playoff games.
That's right.
And all I've been hearing is, man, we can't wait to see Mike Trout in a meaningful baseball game with something on the line where it matters and everything. And I know you already talked about his importance, because that lineup doesn't play unless Mike Trout's the guy leading the charge.
Right.
Right? I understand. And I think there was a game earlier in the tournament, an elimination game. I think against Colombia, where he was the only one who was producing. So I understand he had a big part early on. But he faded away in this tournament. He faded away. I mean, I think he struck out 6 times in the last 2 games.
Wow.
3 times last night.
Wow.
He wasn't close to Ohtani's fastball.
Yeah.
Wasn't close. Ohtani could have thrown that fastball again. I don't think Trout would have touched it.
Well, what you say is important, because big moments matter in baseball. I mean, that's how you create your legacy in baseball, is big moments in the postseason. And has there ever been a better player in any sport that was more irrelevant than Mike Trout? Seriously. I mean, he has been the best player in the game for 8-9 years. And I would say his Q rating is probably well below Randy Arozarena's at this point. Like, nobody knows who Mike Trout is for the most part. Mm-hmm. I mean, just the general public. If you follow baseball, you know. I think if you ask 10 people on the street in Times Square who Mike Trout is, they'd say he's a fisherman or an actor, or maybe they've heard the name, but they don't know who he is.
They certainly couldn't pick him out of a lineup.
No. And that's a shame. That's a shame. I mean, what can you do about that? Can Major League Baseball promote him more? I don't know. He's kind of a milquetoast kind of dude.
He was on with A-Rod, David Ortiz, and Kevin Burkhardt before the game. Like about an hour before the game, he was on live. And it just came off as like, this guy really is not comfortable in the spotlight.
It
definitely came off that way.
He's not.
It's different. Like, even when Shohei Ohtani came on the MLB Network set, I don't even know what Shohei Ohtani is saying.
Yeah.
But for whatever reason, I'm glued in, and he has this bubbly personality and everything. And then when Trout's there, it's like, I hear what he's saying, obviously, but you can tell he's just not as comfortable with it.
No, he's not comfortable in front of the spotlight, and and that's okay. I mean, I'm not blaming this on anybody, but the fact of the matter is, baseball has a problem when your best player is anonymous. I mean, that's an issue.
Well, the best player now is Ohtani.
Well,
if there was
you finally came around to that.
If there was I've come around. I think everybody's come around. If there was ever a changing of the guard moment, it truly was last night. And it wasn't just the strikeout of Trout. How about he had the walk that he forced?
Yep.
How about beating out a ground ball?
He's one of the fastest players in the game,
Yeah, he's one of the fastest players in the game, too. And he comes into the 9th inning, which he hasn't done, I believe, since 2016. So it's been 7 years. And that's a different dynamic.
Of course.
Because we saw Yu Darvish. It was nearly a disaster for Yu Darvish.
It was.
And he admitted that he wasn't comfortable there in the 8th inning. And Ohtani just comes in and it's just nails.
Yeah, he don't care.
He don't care.
Yeah.
I mean, he hit a bomb earlier in the Tokyo Dome off the scoreboard. He hit 475. He had 10 walks. He did everything.
And when they were down in the Japanese in the game against Mexico, when they went down, Rosarena came back and got the hit and scored. What did Ohtani do? He went out there and laced a double to start off the winning rally and scores the tying run with the winning run right behind him. So he set the whole thing up. Let's play the Japanese version of the Trout versus Ohtani last night. This is Japanese TV.
空振り三振最後は大谷翔平が締めくくった侍ジャパン WBC 王座奪還14年ぶりの歓喜みんなで戦い抜いた侍ジャパンが世界一強い
Why is that so funny?
Why did it get better as it went on?
I think he said cowabunga. Did I hear a cowabunga
I think I heard a cowabunga, yeah. A little bit in there.
I heard a WBC. we have the call from the other night, the game winner against Mexico too.
Yeah, I'll get that one because we missed it yesterday.
Yeah, we didn't play that. It's even better because they spice in the names that you recognize and a couple of things. I think he said 3-run homer. It's so funny to me.
Yeah, let me get that one loaded here in a second.
Oh God! So I mean that epic showdown at the end of the game was just. And John Smoltz, I think, said like 2 or 3 times during the game, he goes, "I have no words left for Shohei Ohtani. I have no words left." And this is why. And we had this argument about the MVP, and I said, as long as Ohtani is in the league and he's pitching at a high level and hitting at a high level, he's the MVP. He just is. He's the best player in baseball, and it's not even close. You can't do what he's doing. You just can't do what he's doing. And nobody's been able to do it since Babe Ruth. And by the way, Babe Ruth did not do it both at the same time with the degree that Ohtani is doing, if I'm not mistaken. Because he was more of a pitcher in the beginning and then became...
He only did it for 2 years.
Yeah, only did it for a couple of years, but then became a slugger. So what Ohtani is doing is even better than what Babe Ruth is doing because he's doing it at the same time and doing it at an elite level at both ends. And I really don't know. Maybe this is the future of baseball. Maybe more guys will try and do this. But, to me, it's astounding what he's able to do. And Smoltz is right. When he started talking about stolen bases, he said you could double the number of stolen bases. For if you had 20 last year, you should probably have 40 this year. Can you imagine Ohtani now stealing bases with his speed as well with the new rules and everything? I mean, are you kidding me? He's going to hit 40 bombs, hit 325, 130 RBIs, and probably steal 40 bags. and by the I'm sorry, and go 14-1 on the mound and lead the league in strikeouts. I mean, what the hell is going on here?
Yeah, I remember we had that argument in like the summer of 2021 when he was doing his thing, and I remember saying like, there's no like I think it was Vlad Guerrero who was having like a really good year. And I was like, are we really going to, like, give this to Ohtani just because, like, every single year? And you were like, yes.
Yeah,
we are. And
yeah.
I've come around to it now. I mean,
yeah, we are.
Because it's like every big moment this guy steps in, it's like he's the show.
Yeah.
He is the show.
I mean, if you're just a notch below the hitting statistics of another player and you've won 14 games as a starter or whatever he did last year, I mean, what do we do? Of course he's the best player in baseball. And he's the most – the problem is how the Angels are such a messed up organization, as we found out from Joe Madden when he left. You know, they're all analytically driven. They don't let the manager do anything. And, you know, partially, I know that they didn't win when Joe was there to any great degree, but they didn't win very much after he left either. But it boggles the mind that you could have two guys of that caliber and not be a good baseball team. You got to be bad in so many other areas.
It's really hard to come to grips to. And also, too, I mean, is even the atmosphere there, knowing that Trout and Ohtani are playing nearly every night together, is the atmosphere there at Angel Stadium?
I've been to a few games there. I've taken my dad there every time I go out to Orange County, and it's fantastic. I mean, we usually go on a Tuesday or a Wednesday, and it's, you know, there's 25,000, 30,000 people in that beautiful ballpark, that beautiful outside ballpark with the waterfall and everything. It's such a nice old, you know, great ballpark, and yeah, it's a great place to watch a game. But, you know, they're not competing for anything.
No, and I don't see it. I don't really see it changing much this year either. And that's why I think Ohtani, he's going to, like, the Aaron Judge sweepstakes were really crazy. I mean, what's Ohtani getting on the market? Is he going to be the first $500 million player?
He should be.
And who's paying it?
The Dodgers.
The Dodgers are holding out for it?
And I would like to know the money that the team makes from their television contract in Japan when you pay Ohtani. It's got to almost pay for itself. It has to. Because
I have to think, yeah.
The eyeballs on that guy are just and now they're going to increase even more, on a worldwide basis.
Yeah.
So just having him in a separate Japanese TV contract for the Angels probably pays their whole freaking payroll. I mean, I don't know what that number is. I could be, it could be 60 million. It should be, closer to 100 million because it's basically a national TV contract in Japan where there's a lot of money and you could sell a lot of stuff. So, and I don't know if that goes to MLB or if that goes directly to the Angels. I don't know how that works, but I can tell you what, he is an extremely valuable player because of the amount of TV sets he turns on.
Let alone the merch this guy is selling.
Yeah. Oh my God, I can't even imagine what that is like. By the way, we have a merch story to get to today, led by Nick here on going after Fanatics, who I believe is locally owned.
Yeah. The building there is over. It's owned by Michael Rubin, actually, who's the owner of the Sixers.
Yeah,
but it's Tampa.
I think they have some Tampa roots, though.
I think
I know some
Tampa.
guys that are involved in that.
It's based in Tampa. You see the building over there. It's near the airport.
Yeah.
Which I'm ashamed because I don't like Fanatics, but I'm ashamed that I bought this from Fanatics. But
you paid what, $75 for that?
I told you I paid like $30 for this. I told you I'd wear my Fred McGriff Devil Race T-shirt here with the Hall of Fame patch right there.
Mm-hmm.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Sweet.
I got to send that to McGriff and ask
you're going to have to take a picture of and send this to Fred.
Yeah, I will do that.
Because it's fantastic.
That's awesome that the I don't know if the Rays did that or who did that, but that's good. All right, is this the one from the other night? This is the game winner from the other night where they came back in the bottom of the ninth and walked off against Mexico. I have no idea what they're saying, but it sounds funny.
I would love to have it in like the English translation underneath. Yeah. I'd like the subtitles.
What is there? 8 guys in the booth there? They all just scream like nobody. Like there's no one play-by-play guy. Just everybody just starts screaming.
I don't know. We need to step up our game over here.
I know.
Like I love you, Joe Davis, but
we're being way too polite. I need Smoltz. I need Smoltz yelling and screaming.
Somebody in that booth needs to perk it up, man.
You guys,
my goodness.
Come on, level up to the Japanese squad.
Can you imagine if Joe Buck was calling that? Fly ball to
off
the center.
One
Here he
run
comes
is
around
in.
third, and Japan wins it.
Here comes the game winner, Japan. Yeah, understated. I like a little bit more. I like a little bit more emotion in my game.
I kid. I like Joe Buck. I do like Joe Buck for certain things, but
he does understate it quite. He doesn't want to be the show. So those guys are that's the show.
I mean, sometimes I need you to be the show.
Yeah, but it's different when obviously this is a broadcast that is, once it's a homer broadcast.
Yeah, and that's what the radio broadcasts are for usually, right?
Right. And that may be the national broadcast for Japan, which they're going to be one-sided. I get it.
Yeah, am I really expecting Joe Davis to go nuts yesterday when the U.S. loses? Like.
Yeah, that would be inappropriate.
It's hard to get there, I guess, a little bit.
That would be inappropriate, to be sure. No doubt about it. All right, some of the comments coming in before we get to Scott Reynolds going to join us at 10:30 to talk Baker Mayfield and all things Buccaneers. Richie P says, good game last night. That last at-bat was awesome. Jeremy says, Mike Trout isn't Mike Trout. Not right now, but he will be later on.
Is that game a stain on it? I hate using these arguments because they do this with like the Jordan LeBron all the time. Are these last couple games just a little bit? Is it a hit?
Yeah, of course. Should be. You had an opportunity. To make a mark in the game. If any.
Mm-hmm.
When this is what makes greatness. Greatness is not easily bestowed. Greatness is coming through in big moments. And I understand he hasn't had a lot of opportunities, but the one that he got failed miserably.
Yeah,
and there were more than one opportunity. He could have done a lot last night in a 3-2 game and did very, very little.
And it's not just him, by the way. I think Mookie Betts needed to be better at the top of the order. I mean, Trey Turner, literally, I thought Trey Turner
carried the whole damn team.
Carried the entire team. He was the only consistent at bat, I thought.
Yeah. Batting in the 9-hole.
Yeah, he moved him up to the 6-hole yesterday, and a lot of people were like, what's going to happen here? Like, should they take him out of the 9-hole? And what does he do? He goes yard again.
Yeah, with nobody on.
With nobody on, though.
Yeah, so should have been back in the 9-hole. I don't know. I have a hard time criticizing DeRosa for anything that he did, the manager. But it's baseball's such an individualistic game. It's a team game, but it's more individualistic, right? And Trout had the opportunity to make big things happen and secure his legacy. And he didn't.
Yeah.
And it's not like, Ohtani tricked him. It was, it was power on power. Here you go. Here's my best fastball right down the middle of the plate. It wasn't on the corner. And he missed 2 of them. Mm-hmm. And, Schwarber got one of the 2 that he saw and knocked it out. But if he'd hit the other one, we'd be talking about probably Team USA winning.
Or Paul Goldschmidt, my goodness.
My God.
I mean, he won the MVP last year.
Yep.
I mean, I'm not going to put him in the Mike Trout realm, but he won the MVP last year, and you had all that momentum, and what does he do? Ground into.
Yeah.
Had Darvish on the ropes.
Yeah, we had our opportunities last night, and Japan was better. That's all there is to it. Japan was better. And I want the United States I want this to mean something to the Americans.
Well, Trout even announced before, he said, I'm coming back in 4 years.
Good.
I'm playing.
With the unexpected explosion of the WBC, I got to be honest with you. I don't want to wait 4 years. Major League Baseball controls this thing. It's a young event. And I'm saying to myself, I know 2 years is a long time too, but 4 years is a freaking eternity. Why not do it in 2 years? Change the cycle go 2. I would almost like it every 2 years, like a Ryder Cup. You don't want to do it every year, but every 2 years, will that water it down? Or maybe just come back in 2 years and then go every 4, just to capitalize on this momentum a little bit. Does that make any sense? Or do we have to just wait 4 years and it'll just be even more special then?
I'm a big fan of 4-year events. Like the World Cup every 4 years, there's the anticipation. I love that kind of stuff.
Makes it special.
The Olympics makes it special. It just needs to get a consistent thing because it was 2006, and then it was 3 years, and then it was 4 years, then it was 4 years, then we had a 6-year gap.
Yeah, because of COVID.
Yeah, they need to settle on if it's going to be 3 years, 4 years. I think 4, though, is usually the perfect number for it, though. It comes back around. Now, I will say, going forward, I think Miami needs to be, every single time they come, Miami needs to be where that's the place.
Well, and if we build a new stadium here,
Tampa
would be a great place for it.
I saw this was crazy. Miami hosted 15 games in the World Baseball Classic. The total attendance was 475,000. The Marlins played 82 home games there, or 81 home games there last year, and the attendance was 900,000. 15 games, and they had more than half of the Marlins' attendance last year in 81 games.
And that, you know why that is? Location. They picked a terrible location for that stadium. Beautiful stadium. Everybody loves that stadium. It's a beautiful stadium, and it looks so good on TV with the big glass doors, But they screwed up the location, and here we are going to do that again in Tampa Bay. Don't do it. Don't do it. My God, so stupid. All right. This one is interesting because I did hear this story, how the manager for Japan on how influential. Oh, come on, why is this not working? There we go.
It's shown.
Jesus,
it's shown.
All right, how influential that guy is to the Japanese game. Apparently, he counseled Ohtani to not jump into MLB after high school and do something never done since Babe Ruth. Yeah, and I guess he was a journalist for a while.
They called him yesterday on the broadcast the Joe Madden of Japanese baseball.
Yeah,
is what they called him.
Yeah, wouldn't Joe be a great manager for Team USA? Golly, yes. Yeah, he would.
I mean, if no MLB team calls.
No, he would be fantastic. Because he gets it. He gets it more than anything else. Got to get him on the show soon. Yeah, that was a great story. That guy is a lifer in baseball, and the guy's really universally respected in the game over there.
And give him credit to the decision he made yesterday, because everybody said, okay, you're going to pitch you Darvish. He's the best pitcher that they have available. They're going to go Darvish. And in that moment to say, you know what? I'm going to sit my best pitcher down. I'm not going to have him face these guys. I'm going to give them somebody that maybe they've never heard of before, they've never faced before.
Smart.
That was a pretty smart move.
Very smart
and
move.
saving Darvish for – now, I know it didn't work out late for Darvish, obviously, but
I think the familiarity, and Smoltzy mentioned that on the broadcast last night, that familiarity, they've seen Darvish. They know what he's all about.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah.
And the top 4 in that lineup, they put the numbers up there, mashed against Darvish, too.
Right. So that was super smart. Super smart. Yeah, absolutely. And was that an analytics decision? No, I don't think so. Maybe because
there were numbers there.
There were maybe because of their number, but I think it's just also, I think it's more about that whole idea of familiarity. Yeah, Richie P said Joe Madden would have been perfect for this team. I agree. If MLB is smart, they will push for Ybor Stadium, and maybe we can host WBC down. Listen, James, MLB wants Tampa. They do not want the only way MLB would sign off on St. Petersburg, and I'm not sure they would ever sign off on it, because here's what you got to understand, folks, is the MLB has to sign off on this deal for this stadium. Not necessarily from a legalistic standpoint, but they have to be all in with the plan that the Rays are doing. And they're not, because they know if they stay in St. Petersburg, they're going to keep having to write revenue-sharing checks to Sternberg or whoever the new owner is. And that's not what they want to do, because the attendance is still going to be low, and they don't want to keep writing those revenue-sharing checks. They know if they put it in Tampa, it's going to be much more successful, and there won't be revenue-sharing dollars going to the Rays anymore. They know that. So they're pushing to have Stu put up more of his money that he's made on this team, the ridiculous profit that he's made on the team already, to do that. And that's fair. That should be what everybody is doing. And MLB is going to refund some of the stadium costs to Stu Sternberg. Manfred already said that. It's just how greedy can you be? Everybody, what's best for the area, what's best for the team, what's best for the players, what's best for MLB is that it be in Tampa. It may not be the best deal for Stu in terms of money, but my God, how much money do you need? You know, when you sell the team, it's going to be worth $1.5 billion or $2 billion. You paid like $200 million for it, if that. I mean, geez, Pete. How about having a little bit of vision and a pride in the area that you're in that has made you so rich? All right, we'll take a break. We'll come back on the other side, and we're going to talk some football with our good friend Scott Reynolds of the Pewter Report. He was there at the Baker Mayfield press conference, and we'll get his thoughts on Baker, his attitude, and where this is going, who's going to be the starter. We're brought to you by the Jeeves Law Group, JEEVES lawgroup.com. If you've been in an accident or your car has been totaled and you did not get the settlement you were hoping for, give them a call. They may be able to help you. It's a free call, and you can get money. And Bay Area Modern Medical Center, Chris Lugo and his medical team over there will get you right. Weight loss, testosterone replacement therapy, and True Body, the machine that gives you abs. Find out more at BAMMC.com. Back at 3. Guys, are you experiencing those feelings of getting older, lower sex drive, fatigue, hot flashes, moodiness, or you just don't feel like you had the vitality you once had? It's a chronic problem here in the United States. You're not just getting old, it's likely low testosterone. Studies over the last 20 years show a shocking decline in younger males aged 16 to 39. Older men have seen a sharp decline as well, so do something about it. Go see my friend Christopher Lugo at Bay Area Modern Medicine. Look, testosterone replacement is not a frivolous treatment. It takes a professional, targeted approach that focuses on total body wellness, vitality, and emotional stability, not a one-size-fits-all approach like many clinics use. They will monitor your blood work and adjust your treatment as needed for optimal results. Folks, I've been on testosterone therapy for over 6 years, and it is a life changer. You will feel and look better than you did 10 years ago. Give them a call at 844-977-3477 or go to BAMMC.com. Tell them JP sent you for priority scheduling. That's 844-977-3477 or BAMMC.com. JP here for the Jeeves Law Group. Have you been injured in an accident, in an auto accident, truck accident, motorcycle accident, at work, or at a place of business? Well, call the Jeeves Law Group and get the personal attention that you deserve. I made the mistake many, many years ago with going with one of the bigger law firms, the national law firms. And let me tell you, getting a call back from those folks was next to impossible. weeks and weeks would go by, never get a call back. That doesn't happen with the Jeeves Law Group. Personal attention is what they're all about. When you call the Jeeves Law Group, you will be part of the family. They will represent you in a vigorous and aggressive way against the insurance companies. These larger companies will promise bigger settlements, but it's the Jeeves Law Group that will get you the best results. If you're tired of dealing with these bigger law firms, check out the Jeeves Law Group. Go to JeevesLawGroup.com, tell them JP sent you, get a free consultation. It's the Jeeves Law Group. Scott Jeeves has been representing clients in the Tampa Bay area for over 25 years. Give them a call. It's a free call, 727-894-2929, 727-894-2929, or go to JeevesLawGroup.com. Hey guys, JP here for the Gold and Diamond Source. There is no better place to shop for jewelry than the Gold and Diamond Source. We know that. They are the family jewelers, and they will treat you like family. It's always a fun experience. Just head on over there. You will not find a better selection anywhere in the world. It's a jewelry super center. They've got engagement rings, necklaces, earrings, pendants, chains, and thousands of diamonds to choose from. They're all right there. They don't have to ship anything in. They have jewelry for every price range as well. Guys, if you're looking for some of those baller watches, they have a great selection. They have new and used. You can get some great collectibles there as well. And if you're looking for some more affordable gold and diamond jewelry, you have to check out the Emily collection from Emily Johnson Weintraub. Emily created this collection for people who want to wear and stack elaborate jewelry but don't want to pay the big ticket prices. You got to check this stuff out. The Gold and Diamond Source has plenty of options to accommodate any budget, interest-free financing for up to 5 years, and a layaway program, 20% down and only 6 monthly payments. And this month only, get up to 15% off the March birthstone, which is aquamarine. Like we always say, keep it local, folks. The Gold Julie and Steve Weintraub, such great philanthropic benefactors. So let's keep it all local here when we have the opportunity, right? It's the Golden Diamond Source, 3800 Olmerton Road, always online at thegoldendiamondsource.com.
Coming back at you. Now, more with JP on FanStream Sports. It's only just begun.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show, brought to you by the great folks at Italiano Insurance and the Golden Diamond Source, American Mortgage Services. Scott Fitzgerald will get you the best loan at the best rate. Scott at amstampa.com. All right, let's welcome in our good friend Scott Reynolds from the Pewter Report. Now, Scotty, are you a big baseball fan?
No, not at all.
Did you watch any of the
Could care
WBC?
less. I don't even know what you're talking
I
about.
got no audio. Is that him or us?
You
Are
do?
you on mute? Did you unmute yourself?
I'm okay. Can you hear me?
What is going on? Can we hear you now? Try it again.
Yeah, Can you hear me?
With another guest the other day.
It's okay on my end.
You're good. You're good.
Yeah.
Your stuff is good. Our stuff. See, Richie P can hear him fine. This is the most bizarre thing where people can hear you on YouTube, but we can in our headset for some bizarre reason. We're gonna hit a couple buttons. Changes. What did we do with our last guest, Chris Lugo? Something happened here. It's definitely on our end. So stand by.
Technology is great when it works.
It's probably when I was working the desk here last week, I probably screwed something up and hit a bad button. No. All right, we're going to take a break. And Scotty, we'll hit that link again, and we'll figure everything out. Quick break. We'll get Scott Reynolds back here in just 2 seconds. Stand by. Technical difficulties. Modern Medical Center, you can get on the new True Body machine where you can reduce fat and tone up your muscle. It's like doing 54,000 crunches in just 15 minutes. Define your body as you see.
Hello.
True Body offers personalized muscle stimulation that delivers the equivalent of those 54,000 crunches in just 15 minutes. Just get in touch with them at Bay Area Modern Medical Center, BAMMC.com. Chris Lugo and the team over there will set you up on True Body and get amazing results. Comfortable and little zero downtime. You can isolate and target what you want to improve and treat multiple areas simultaneously. It's an amazing machine, so check it out at Bay Area Modern Medical Center, BAMMC.com. Well, Fitz the mortgage guy did it again. A listener heard his ad, was going to another big bank, but called Scott Fitzgerald at American Mortgage Services of Tampa, and Fitz saved him $618 on his monthly payment. Are you kidding me? Folks, that's big money. Rates are going up, they're going down, they're going all over the place. Scott will shop your loan and save you lender fees and get the best rates. Email him, scott@amstampa.com, or call 813-294-7595. That's Fitz the mortgage guy. Lots of stuff going on right now, and these rates are going all over the place. You need somebody knowledgeable in the market that will work hard for you and get you the best deal. That's my man, Scott. He's done 3 loans for me, done thousands of loans for local folks here, works with a lot of the coaches and players in the area. He's the guy. 813-294-7595, or go to scott@amstampa.com. Of the local pediatric cancer patients. But it's the customer service that sets them apart. They can shop all your insurance needs and save you big time money. Don't hop on the internet and waste time looking at some bogus reviews. Talk to knowledgeable agents and not some voice-generated robot. These are confusing times for homeowners, and Italiano's team of experienced professionals can provide the right coverage for every situation: home, auto, business, life. It's Italiano for all the pieces of your life. Call 813-877-7799 or go to italianoinsurance.com.
Let's go.
Right now, back to the show with JP on FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back. We'll try this one more time with the great Scott Reynolds, and if we don't get it, we'll call him on his phone. We'll do it.
Hello.
There we go. We got
All
you.
right.
I have no idea what just happened. It's just modern technology.
Technology is great when it works. When it doesn't, it is not great.
And what do you do when it doesn't work? Unplug.
That's
plug
right.
back in. That's what.
That's right. Try again. Yep.
So I was asking you, did you watch any of the World Baseball Classic?
I don't even know what that is. What is that?
It was actually a really, really fun tournament where the world participated in a classic. And last night it came down to Ohtani and Trout. 1-run game, 2 outs, and Ohtani blew him away.
I saw some of that stuff on Twitter, but I'm not even sure what that was about.
Yeah, you probably understand it as well as we understood the Japanese call of that, which was funny, but I have no idea what they were saying. All right, so I know what Baker Mayfield said the other day.
Yeah.
And I was relatively impressed with his demeanor and who he is.
Yeah.
How much he has matured. What did you see?
I agree. I mean, when you look at Baker Mayfield, he gets this rap as being this cocky, brash, arrogant, guy, and he's had some of those moments, right? And I think that, he's 6'1", right? I'm 6 feet tall, so I'm not looking down upon Baker, figuratively and literally, but. Sometimes, short guys, and he's short by NFL quarterback standards, they have a chip on their shoulder, right? It's a little bit of, I don't want to say Napoleon complex, but I mean, that term's been thrown around before in other instances. But he's had a chip on his shoulder going back to Oklahoma. And I think that chip is kind of what makes him a little special. And it's what got him the Heisman Trophy. It's what got him the #1 overall draft pick status by the Cleveland Browns. And at the same time, he has some of that self-confidence and a little bit of that swagger, but it certainly was knocked down a couple pegs, right? When you're on your 4th team in 1 calendar year, and it's like it's like when you play Monopoly, right? And you get to to zoom around the board and bypass go and get your $200 instantly in one roll. That's kind of what it's been like from Baker Mayfield, going from face of the franchise in Cleveland to journeyman quarterback, just like that. And he knows how quickly things can change, right? I mean, Andy Dalton is a backup quarterback, right? Jameis Winston right now is a backup quarterback. Marcus Mariota, a backup quarterback. You can be a first-round guy. You can be the #1 overall pick, but you only have so many swings at the bat, to use your little baseball, reference, to hit and to get on base or maybe hit a home run. And if you continue to strike out, I mean, that's what happens. You go from being a starter to potential starter to a backup, career backup, and then out of the league. That's the sequence of events. So Baker knows that this is maybe his last chance to compete for a starting job. And I think he's coming in with some humility. I think he's coming in with some experience, right? Last year in Carolina, when he battled Sam Darnold for the starting quarterback job before Darnold got hurt in the preseason, it's the first time he's ever had to battle for a starting job in the NFL.
Right.
He was the guy in Cleveland. So now he has that experience, right? Then he gets benched in Carolina, and he's a backup. Now he has that experience. So I think he's had some of these experiences that have, knocked him down a few pegs. And I think that's a good thing because I think that chip got a little bit bigger. It reinvigorated his hunger. He's going to take full advantage of this opportunity. And with 69 career starts under his belt, I mean, he's the leader in the clubhouse right now to start in Tampa Bay.
Yeah, I would agree with all that you said. And I think there's some hesitancy with some that, if he doesn't win the job, that he's going to be some malcontent, cancer, powder. He didn't do that in Carolina. As far as we know, I didn't hear any of that. From what I've heard, he wanted to leave. They wanted to let him go because they didn't need him anymore. They were tanking.
Yeah.
I think they all kind of agreed on that. I don't think he was an undesirable there. So if he were to lose the job, and I think it's all set up for him to win the job, we'll talk about that. But if he were, I don't think he would be an issue here. Do you?
No, not at all. And again, I'm buoyed by the fact that he's already had that experience. Right?
Exactly.
He's already had a quarterback competition, so this is nothing new for him. And if he does lose the quarterback job, then he's already been a backup, and that's nothing new for him. So you can kind of go into this if you're Jason Light, the general manager, and Todd Bowles, the head coach, even Dave Canales, the offensive coordinator, understanding what you're going to get with Baker Mayfield in any of those situations. He's going to be a competitor. He's not going to shy away from the competition or think less of his opponent. He's going to either win the job and be the starter, or he's going to lose the job and be a backup. But the fact that he's had those experiences last year is not going to be any surprises when it comes to Baker Mayfield for the Buccaneers, and that's a good thing.
Scott Reynolds joining us here from Pewter Report. All right, so let's talk about the competition. And I mean, as we say a lot during this time of year, don't listen to what they say, look at what they do.
Yeah.
And what the Buccaneers have done is gone and gotten an offensive coordinator that runs a system very similar to the Rams that would like to have the quarterback be very mobile, be able to throw on the run, RPOs, waggles, bootlegs, all those things that Baker Mayfield is really, really good at.
Mm-hmm.
He throws off platform very well. He makes plays in the pocket. I don't necessarily would describe Kyle Trask like that. I know he can move and he can do a lot of those things, but he's a 6'5" guy. He's 6'5", 235, 240-pound quarterback. Baker Mayfield is not. It's a different type. So it seems like this offense, this system, this run-heavy system that Bowles wants to run looks more like 2020 Cleveland than it does a drop-back passer like Kyle Trask. Kyle Trask, what do you think?
Yeah. I mean, I agree. And listen, if you're the Buccaneers, what I like about this is if you go back and look, and I've been a guy, and I'm not like anti-drafting a quarterback. I don't think it makes sense to draft one this year because you already have a second-round pick invested in Trask that you got to find out about, and you're bringing in Baker Mayfield. So if you're going to draft a quarterback, let's see if one of these guys or both can make something happen, and if not, then hit the reset button and draft one next year. Because if it doesn't work, if one of these guys doesn't step up, you're going to be in a much better spot than 19 to draft a quarterback next year. So why not wait and see at least what you have this year? But I like this for the Buccaneers in a couple of ways. Number one, either way, their guy wins. Either their free agent wins or their draft pick wins, right? So it's not like Jason Light or Todd Bowles has a dog in this race. They're both Buccaneers, and they both get credit for either one. So whoever wins. So it's not like the organization is stacking the deck against one or the other. I think what stacks the deck is Baker Mayfield's experience. Right. That's what stacks the deck. He's more of a known commodity. That being said, if either guy rises to the occasion, and let's just put on their pewter glasses for a minute and say that they go 9-8 and they win the NFC South again, or they win 10 games. Who knows?
Right.
Let's say this Dave Canales offense, sight unseen, works. Let's say Dave Canales is a better than average play caller in his first year. All right, let's be hopeful and optimistic. And let's say either Baker or Trask wins the job. Well, you've got a young quarterback on the rise in this offense either way.
Right.
And that's ultimately what the Buccaneers want. Again, I'm not anti-drafting quarterbacks, but when I came to Tampa Bay in '95 to cover the Buccaneers, my first season, walking in the door with Warren Sapp and Derek Brooks, Trent Dilfer, a first-round pick, was already on this roster. I watched Vinny Testaverde a lot at Miami, and he went to the Buccaneers, and it didn't work out. Then we saw Josh Freeman from my alma mater, Kansas State, didn't work out. Then we saw Jameis Winston, didn't work out. And in between, you have the Sean Kings, you've got the Chris Sims, the Bruce Gronkowskis, all of those guys. For whatever reason, this team cannot draft a quarterback to save its life.
But the Jeff Garcias, the Brad Johnsons,
the Brian Greaseys,
those guys took them to the playoffs.
Those are the free agent guys. And with the only exception of like Brian Greasy, who I think was 29 when he came to Tampa Bay, Jeff Garcia was 37. Brad Johnson was 33, didn't win a Super Bowl till he was 34. Tom Brady was 43. So at least if Baker's the guy, at least they have a younger guy that they can kind of grow with. Otherwise, they're getting a guy with a really, really short shelf life.
And of all those guys you just mentioned, can we say that Baker Mayfield has the highest ceiling of all those guys? Well, not Brady. Well, Brady at the time. I mean, listen, I said it yesterday, and I'll say it again. I'll say it till I'm blue in the face. Baker Mayfield will be better than Tom Brady was last year.
Yeah, that's fair to say because Brady wasn't that good last year. He really wasn't. But statistically speaking, can he match what Tom Brady did in Tampa Bay?
Well, I hope not.
Well,
I hope it's markedly better. I don't want the 27th worst offense in football.
But if you look at Tom's numbers individually, Tom, not the offense, but Tom. He was forced to throw a bunch, but he didn't come close to throwing 40 touchdowns like he did in 2020 or 43 like he did in 2021. But I think that the number of touchdowns he can put up is better. But like you said, it's not about what Tom did; it's about what the offense did or didn't do.
Right.
And so a lot of this is going to have to be predicated on can the Buccaneers run the ball
exactly,
and can they stick to it? And I think, you might have been there for after the press conference with Dave Canales. He came into the media room and spoke for about another 30 minutes. And I'm paraphrasing because it was kind of like it wasn't an on the record thing. It was kind of off the record. So I don't want to get in trouble, but the gist of what he was saying is the Bucs running game wasn't bad last year. It was given up on way too early. Yeah. And if you look at teams, like, for example, the Baltimore Ravens, they came out last year in that game. And remember, they fell behind 10-3 at halftime. They had the right game plan, attack the Bucs' wounded secondary. And I think Lamar Jackson had 2 carries for 3 yards in the first half. And he threw the ball about 20 times in the first half.
Yeah.
And it was the right process, right? Attack your team's weakness, or your opponent's weakness. But it didn't work. They only had 3 points to show for it.
Right.
So in the second half, Greg Roman goes back and says, we're going to stop attacking the Bucs' weakness. We're going to play to our strength, which is running the ball. Yeah. And they ran the Bucs out of the gym in the second half. And so it just proves that if you stick with the running game and if it can be effective throughout the game, and sometimes it starts off with a 2-yard gain and a 3-yard gain, then those turn into a 5 and a 6-yard gain in the second quarter. And then you have those runs turn into 7 and 8 yards in the third quarter. Then you're ripping off 10, 12 yarders in the fourth. And of course, there could be a big run here or there sprinkled in. But the running game, by and large, is based upon attrition. You're wearing your opponent down over 4 quarters. And what makes the running game even more effective is when you have a really good passing game that can balance that out, because you get those. You don't have to have a good running game to run play action. I believe that. But if you do have a good running game and you are using play action, it can make it even more effective.
Right.
Because those linebackers, sure, they have to like read their keys
Exactly.
and take a step forward. But here's the thing. If you're running the ball successfully, those linebackers are still going to read the key with the play action fake, but they're going to be creeping up even before the snap, getting in their gaps a little further. And then what you're doing is you're creating even more of a seam for the tight end or the wide receivers down the seam.
Right.
Yeah, and to the point about the running game, I mean, they added Chase Edmonds, right, to it's like the league minimum, is it no? Is it not?
Yeah.
The league minimum, and I was very impressed with him in Arizona, I believe.
Yeah.
And I remember, like, fantasy football is such a different world, but he was he was like a fantasy darling for a few weeks in, like, 2020, 2021.
Yeah, I liked his tape coming out of Fordham. I mean, I thought he was a really quality runner. He fits this scheme very well with the outside zones and the stretch plays and what they're going to do.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask, because I know there was all that smoke about the Zeke Elliott, which I saw that you shot down pretty immediately, and they go and get Chase Edmonds. Shaq Mason had to go because of salary cap. Is there really, you think, and we have to see what Canales' scheme looks like, that they have the guys up front right now in the backs to have a much better running game next year as constructed?
That remains to be seen, right? I mean, people want to crap on the Bucs offensive line, and it kind of deserved it last year. I will admit to that. At the same time, though, in 2021, it was pretty damn good. In 2020, leading up to the Super Bowl, I mean, let's not forget the Buccaneers. They only averaged 95 yards per game during the Super Bowl season. It was in the bottom 5, but the Bucs were truly playing to their strength. Really, right? The last 2 years with Brady and Evans and Godwin and Gronk and AB. So you can't fault the Buccaneers for throwing the ball and doing it as well and successfully as they did in 2020 and 2021. But if you remember, when you got to the postseason, the Washington game, Packers game to a degree, the Saints game for sure in New Orleans, and in the Super Bowl, they went from averaging 95 yards to about 126 yards per game. And if you looked at that 126 yards that they averaged on the ground in the postseason, I think that ranked like 10th in the league. So the Buccaneers, they had the horses up front to flip the switch and go from pass protecting to, we want to run the ball. And they did, and they could, and it showed. I don't know if they have the horses right now to do that up front. I know Tristan Wirfs can do it. I know Ryan Jensen can do it. We'll see about the other guys. That's going to be maybe the more interesting thing, other than the training camp battle, is how's this offensive line going to shape up in training camp?
Well, Scott, I am a firm believer, and you know this from being a defensive coach. If I'm an offensive lineman last year, I was in the worst situation possible, because I had a quarterback that everybody knew where he was going to be. I had no threat of bootleg, waggle, anything.
Right.
And I had a defensive lineman in front of me that was just in a starting block.
Teeing off,
Just did not have to worry about the run. I mean, and knew also from the predictability of the running game and the passing game and the formations, they knew when the runs were coming. They knew when the passes were coming. For an offensive lineman, that entire perfect storm is the worst possible scenario.
You're right.
The best offensive lines in the world are going to struggle in that situation. Now you've got an offense where you're sticking that ball in the belly of a running back, and you don't know if that quarterback's going to pull it and run, pull it and drop back and throw. You're a linebacker. Now you've got to just, okay, now go. Before it was, okay, go. I mean, for an offensive lineman, that's a nightmare. I think this offensive line, and I think it's going to take a little bit of time, maybe 6 to 8 games. But Wirfs at left tackle. First of all, if you have 2 All-Pros out of 5, you got a pretty good
start.
It's a
good start.
You have, Hainsey, I think, can be. Gedecke's arms are too short to play tackle. Hainsey should be your right tackle. If Gedecke's put him at right guard, that'll be easier than left guard because of the opposite hand stuff. Nick Leverett, I mean, you got Stinney. You probably draft an offensive lineman.
Yeah.
I think the running game will be better. I think the offensive line will be better. I think everything gets better just because of the fact that you're now running a modern NFL offense that's giving a lot of conflict to this defense.
Yeah.
Is it fair for that offensive line?
Well, yeah, and I think, too, the predictability of first down runs, and I think Canales is going to come out and throw the ball on first down and run it on second down.
Exactly.
And it's like that makes a lot of sense. Yeah. You can still run the ball and do it successfully. It doesn't have to start on first downs.
Right.
having played a little defensive line in high school, I wasn't very good, but I coached it at the Pop Warner level, and I love defensive line play. And we use these terms offense and defense.
Yep.
But really in the trenches, those two terms can be very interchangeable. When an offensive line is running the ball, they're on offense. And the defensive line is truly on defense, right? They have to hold the line of scrimmage, right? And they're going to try to penetrate, but more so than anything, they're on defense. They don't want to give up any yards. That's the name of the game. Don't give up yards in the ground game. When you're passing the ball, it really flips. Yeah. The offensive line becomes really your defense. You're protecting the quarterback. And your pass rushers up front along the defensive line, they're on the offensive. Yeah. They're not trying to just hold the line, because if that's the case, quarterback has all day to throw the ball. No, they're trying to charge and attack and penetrate the defenses of that offensive line and get to the quarterback. So it takes so much more energy to fight off a double team, right? When it's 600 pounds of humanity coming at you, trying to drive you backwards. Oh my God. And you got to hold, you got to anchor down, hold your gap. And then you've got to try to throw one of those 300-pound guys off of you. And then you got a 20 or 220-pound back that you're trying to tackle, and he hits you and you hit him and you go to the ground. Trust me, that burns so much more energy than one-on-one trying to, club rip or use a swim move to get by a guy and then run free to the quarterback. Yeah. It's just how it is. And so that's why you saw the Buccaneers give up sacks in the fourth quarter and get in trouble, and Brady throwing the ball at linemen's feet just to get rid of it, because there wasn't too many of Tampa Bay's opponents that were gassed defensively in the fourth quarter. Right.
That's a great point. Scott Reynolds joining us here. All right. So as we talk about the quarterback matchup and that which is going to be fun to watch. That's going to be fun. And Baker, I asked him a question about what his offseason is going to be like. He's like, I'm in here. I'm all in. Yeah. He's going to be here for every OTA, every meeting, every non-mandatory, mandatory. He's going to be here. Yeah. Trask is going to be here. I'm here for it. It's going to be fun. But the draft is going to be so key here.
It is.
Scott, this is, as you rebuild this team, this draft has got to be huge. And I think if Jason Light can find two real impact players in this draft, I feel good about this football team. I really do. If they can get an edge rusher.
Especially in this division, Yeah,
an edge rusher and a tight end. Yeah. An offensive line, I think we got enough talent here to be a pretty good offensive line. But if somebody falls to you, go ahead and take them. I think there's a lot of different ways that they could go. But if they get a safety, a tight end, and an edge rusher with those first three picks, and those guys can be impact players, I think this team is – I'm not going to sit here and say they're going to win a Super Bowl, but they can be really, really competitive. Would you agree?
Yeah, I would also – I do agree. I would also throw in offensive line just because of the injuries, right? It's like right now, like you can kind of play the game and Hainsey here, Gedeke there, whatever, and you look at it, highest paid center in the game, best offensive tackle in the game. Those are your two starting blocks. Then you've got a second-round guy in Gedeke, a third-round guy in Hainsey, Leverett, who certainly proved his worth. Yep. So, that's a good starting group right there, wherever you want to shuffle the deck. But what happens when Wirfs goes down for a couple games? Because we've seen it. What happens when Jensen goes down for a couple games or a season? We see it. They need some really talented depth. And in 2021, the Buccaneers starting five was as healthy as any offensive line was across the league, statistically speaking. Fewest missed games among all five offensive linemen. Boom. Number one, Tampa Bay. Big reason why they went 13-4. Yep. And Jason Light knows, because he has built this team in the trenches, right? Offensively and defensively, with premium draft picks. If there is an Anton Harrison there at number 19, the Oklahoma left tackle, if Darnell Wright from Tennessee is there, who's played left and right tackle, there at number 19, and you have a chance to get a franchise offensive tackle. And the beauty is if you think Hainsey or Gedeke could start at one of the tackle spots and Wirfs at the other, then you're drafting a guy that doesn't have to start right away. Because sometimes it works out. Ali Marpet's a great example. Yep. Started right away, looked like an NFL player from the get-go. Sometimes it doesn't work out. Look no further than Luke Gedeke last year. Exactly. Struggled mightily as a rookie. So I'm all fine with burning a number one draft pick on an offensive tackle.
Yep, me too.
And and throwing him in the mix. And if he wins the job, great. If not, he might be that starter 6-8 games in, either due to injury or just needing a little bit more time to get acclimated to the NFL.
Or moving the guard or whatever.
Yeah, and I also think the Bucs, and I think this is no secret, they needed to get a more consistent pass rush, and I don't know what they're going to get out of Shaq Barrett next year.
I don't either.
I'm really concerned about that. Were you surprised a little bit of the Anthony Nelson contract? And I mean, I didn't even know that they really were going to bring him back, especially for the contract when I saw it. I thought they needed to maybe get a little bit more athleticism there. What was your opinion on that, Anthony Nelson?
A couple things. It's a great question, Nick. A couple things with Anthony Nelson. If Shaq Barrett is healthy at the end of the year, even if he underwhelms, let's say Shaq finished with 8 sacks. 8 sacks, making $18 million, heading into a year where he's going to be 30 years old. I don't know that they feel as compelled to bring Anthony Nelson back, right? Because Shaq's going to start at one side and then JTS on the other. They still got to find out what they have in their first-round draft pick. But you're right. They would draft another edge rusher to throw in the mix. But I think that injury to Shaq Barrett, I think Anthony Nelson in this case gets helped out by that. I think he's a safety blanket, a security blanket for Todd Bowles. Todd Bowles trusts him. Is he flashy? Is he an ideal starter? No, he's not. But Todd Bowles trusts him. He called Nelson and Jamel Dean the 2 most improved players on the team last year, and the Bucs got both back. That makes Todd Bowles very happy. And so I think that they feel like they can win with Anthony Nelson. Is he the guy that you want to be that 17-game starter? Absolutely not. But can he get by and help you out in a pinch for a couple starts? Yeah, he showed that. And I think there's some value to that, right? Yeah. But yes, I would throw another edge rusher into the mix. A couple guys from my neck of the woods. Felix Anudike-Uzomah from Kansas State.
Yeah, baby.
I like him a lot. The Bucs like him a lot. They had a formal interview with him. And he's a player that I've seen late first, early second round, and he would be a good pick for the Buccaneers in the second round. Also, out there in Big 12 country, Will McDonald from Iowa State is one hell of a pass rusher too. Long arms, fast. I think either one of those guys would be a really good guy to throw in the mix. And I think you could justify drafting an edge rusher in the first or the second round this year, even though you've got your 2 starters penciled in, because we don't know about Shaq at age 30 coming off of that torn Achilles injury, because Shaq at 6'1", 250 doesn't win with size. He doesn't win with power. And he's not even the fastest guy. He doesn't win with speed. He wins with get off. Yeah. He times the jump. And that's why you'll see him get maybe a couple more false start penalties, or not false starts, but offsides penalties, because he tries to time the snap. That quickness, that jump off the ball, that's where he wins. And man, of all the injuries to happen, an Achilles, that will rob your quickness faster than anything. And let's say Shaq's back and healthy and fine. We've seen 2 years of back-to-back 4 sacks from JTS, who misses as many sacks as he gets. So you have to have another guy in there as a safety net for him in case he is just a Noah Spence type, a guy that just has all the physical tools but just doesn't put it together.
I would agree with all that. And as we get closer to draft, we'll get into more of that. Scotty, tell everybody what's going on at Pewter Report as you jump out of here.
We just had a story go up on Pewter Report about what happens if Will Levis falls to the Bucs.
Oh,
Daniel Jeremiah has the Bucs drafting him at number 19. How would that work? Check out PewterReport.com's article and find out. We've got some more content coming up. We also have our Pewter Report podcast. Today is Wednesday. So we do the first 2 of the week, Mondays and Tuesdays at 4 p.m. Then we shift to prime time for Wednesdays and Thursdays, 7 p.m. Eastern tonight. You can find that on our YouTube channel, Pewter Report TV. 4 podcasts a week. If you miss them live, you can always catch the archived versions of those shows. Again, Pewter Report TV on YouTube. Subscribe to it, please. We'd love for you to do that. And you can follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Pewter Report, and always find our content at the mothership, pewterreport.com.
Hey, by the way, your Wildcats are pretty relevant now. I don't remember the last time Kansas State men's basketball was at the forefront of college basketball. Are you going to get it done tomorrow against Tom Izzo, you think?
I hope so. We have to. I got to have a little bet with Will Golston. He's a Michigan State Spartan. So I'm going to call Will up right now and see what he wants to bet. It's funny because we beat Kentucky, right, to get to the Sweet 16. the last time we played Kentucky, we beat them in the Sweet 16. That was with Barry Brown from Gibbs High School over here in St. Petersburg, and Dean Wade, who's now in the NBA, Xavier Sneed, who I think he was drafted by the Magic in the second round a couple years ago. So we're not as relevant as that chicken hawk down the road in Lawrence, Kansas is when it comes to basketball. But we've had a pretty good year between the Big 12 championship and football.
You're still standing over there.
We're still standing. That's right. The chicken hawks are dead and buried. So,
right.
But yeah, Sweet 16 in basketball, Big 12 in football, in terms of championship. Had a good year. Had a good run.
FSU will do the same next year. Hope so.
Yeah.
All right, my friend. Good stuff. We'll check in with you next week. Thanks, buddy. Appreciate it.
You got it.
It's Scott Reynolds right there. All right, we'll take a quick break. We'll come back on the other side. Jason Romano is going to join us. A bunch of his clients were in the World Baseball Classic with Kyle Tucker, Brady Singer, Kyle Schwarber, a bunch of those guys. He was at some of the games as well. So we'll talk about the impact of the WBC and some Rays baseball as well with Jason Romano. Brought to you by Italiano Insurance. Great time to get that insurance checkup, folks. Save thousands and thousands of dollars maybe. Let them do all the work in pricing all those companies for you while you sit back and collect all the savings. Italiano, 813-877-7799 or ItalianoInsurance.com. Back in 3. Stay with us. Insurance coverage can be confusing and expensive. I mean, where do you start? Which companies can you count on to pay out fast and fair? Well, call the great folks at Italiano Insurance. It's a family-owned business. Jeff and Nat Italiano are carrying on the 60-year-plus tradition of giving amazing customer service and giving back to the community through their annual backpack drive for needy students and their support of the local pediatric cancer patients. But it's the customer service that sets them apart. They can shop all your insurance needs and save you big-time money. Don't hop on the internet and waste time looking at some bogus reviews. Talk to knowledgeable agents and not some voice-generated robot. These are confusing times for homeowners, and Italiano's team of experienced professionals can provide the right coverage for every situation: home, auto, business, life. It's Italiano for all the pieces of your life. Call 813-877-7799 or go to ItalianoInsurance.com. Well, Fitz the mortgage guy did it again. A listener heard his ad, was going to another big bank, but called Scott Fitzgerald at American Mortgage Services of Tampa, and Fitz saved him $618 on his monthly payment. Are you kidding me? Folks, that's big money. Rates are going up, they're going down, they're going all over the place. Scott will shop your loan and save you lender fees and get the best rates. Email him, scott@amstampa.com, or call 813-294-7595. That's Fitz the mortgage guy. Lots of stuff going on right now, and these rates are going all over the place. You need somebody knowledgeable in the market that will work hard for you and get you the best deal. That's my man, Scott. He's done 3 loans for me, done thousands of loans for local folks here, works with a lot of the coaches and players in the area. He's the guy. 813-294-7595 or go to scott@amstampa.com. JP here for the Jeeves Law Group. Have you been injured in an accident, in an auto accident, truck accident, motorcycle accident, at work, or at a place of business? Well, call the Jeeves Law Group and get the personal attention that you deserve. I made the mistake many, many years ago with going with one of the bigger law firms, the national law firms. And let me tell you, getting a call back from those folks was next to impossible. Weeks and weeks would go by, never get a call back. That doesn't happen with the Jeeves Law Group. Personal attention is what they're all about. When you call the Jeeves Law Group, you will be part of the family. They will represent you in a vigorous and aggressive way against the insurance companies. These larger companies will promise bigger settlements, but it's the Jeeves Law Group that will get you the best results. If you're tired of dealing with these bigger law firms, check out the Jeeves Law Group. Go to JeevesLawGroup.com, tell them JP sent you, get a free consultation. It's the Jeeves Law Group. Scott Jeeves has been representing clients in the Tampa Bay area for over 25 years. Give them a call. It's a free call, 727-894-2929, 727-894-2929, or go to JeevesLawGroup.com. Hey guys, JP here for the Gold and Diamond Source. There is no better place to shop for jewelry than the Gold and Diamond Source. We know that. They are the family jewelers, and they will treat you like family. It's always a fun experience. Just head on over there. You will not find a better selection anywhere in the world. It's a jewelry super center. They've got engagement rings, necklaces, earrings, pendants, chains, and thousands of diamonds to choose from. They're all right there. They don't have to ship anything in. They have jewelry for every price range as well. Guys, if you're looking for some of those baller watches, they have a great selection. They have new and used. You can get some great collectibles there as well. And if you're looking for some more affordable gold and diamond jewelry, you have to check out the Emily collection from Emily Johnson Weintraub. Emily created this collection for people who want to wear and stack elaborate jewelry but don't want to pay the big ticket prices. You got to check this stuff out. The Golden Diamond Source has plenty of options to accommodate any budget, interest-free financing for up to 5 years, and a layaway program, 20% down and only 6 monthly payments. And this month only, get up to 15% off the March birthstone, which is aquamarine. Like we always say, keep it local, folks. The Golden Diamond Source, Julie and Steve Weintraub, such great philanthropic benefactors. So let's keep it all local here when we have the opportunity, right? It's the Golden Diamond Source, 3800 Olmerton Road, always online at thegoldendiamondsource.com. Ladies and gentlemen, are you looking to lose weight or just lean up for bathing suit season where there are so many diets and chiropractors and weight loss clinics out there? You don't know where to start, right? We'll start at Bay Area Modern Medical Center. Chris Lugo, PA, and his professional staff will devise a personal plan for you that gets results and will help you keep the weight off. Everybody metabolizes food and supplements differently. Many of these other approaches are designed for the masses. So how's that going to work for you specifically? It's not. Chris will spend one-on-one time with you to find out what works best for you so the weight comes off safely without the use of harmful drugs and side effects. Call 844-977-3477 or go to BAMMC.com. Tell them JP sent you for priority scheduling. 844-977-3477 or BAMMC.com. Hey guys, are you experiencing those feelings of getting older, lower sex drive, fatigue, hot flashes, moodiness, or you just don't feel like you had the vitality you once had? It's a chronic problem here in the United States. You're not just getting old, it's likely low testosterone. Studies over the last 20 years show a shocking decline in younger males aged 16 to 39. Older men have seen a sharp decline as well, so do something about it. Go see my friend Christopher Lugo at Bay Area Modern Medicine. Look, testosterone replacement is not a frivolous treatment. It takes a professional, targeted approach that focuses on total body wellness, vitality, and emotional stability, not a one-size-fits-all approach like many clinics use. They will monitor your blood work and adjust your treatment as needed for optimal results. Folks, I've been on testosterone therapy for over 6 years, and it is a life changer. You will feel and look better than you did 10 years ago. Give them a call at 844-977-3477 or go to BAMMC.com. Tell them JP sent you for priority scheduling. That's 844-977-3477 or BAMMC.com.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Let's rock.
This is FanStream Sports with JP.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show on this hump day. It's been a fun couple of weeks of the World Baseball Classic, WBC 2023 will never be forgotten. It'll be the year that this baseball tournament really hit the big time. The most watched baseball game in the history of baseball last night, as a worldwide audience of over 100 million were tuned in to watch the USA play Japan last night. That's a lot of people watching baseball, a lot of them in Japan. Our good friend Jason Romano is an agent at XL Sports Management and had a bunch of players into WBC. What's up, Jason? How are you, partner?
Hey, what's up, guys? How y'all doing?
What are you working out? What are you doing there?
No, I was actually at the PGA Superstore here.
Oh, beautiful. Even
Big stuff,
better.
isn't it?
Oh, nice. I haven't been there yet. I got to go check that thing
Oh,
out.
it's unbelievable.
Hey, pick up a 3-wood for me there while you're there. Right?
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I'm with the putter. Trying to learn how to putt.
Yeah, I just got one of those, and it's not working very well. It's got to be the putter. It can't be me. Well, you went to a game. Well, first of all, you had, 5 players on the USA team?
Yeah,
Schwarber, Anderson, of course, Kyle Tucker, Brady Singer, and Goldschmidt.
And Paul Goldschmidt. Man.
All your guys. So that had to be fun for you watching those guys perform in the World Baseball Classic.
Yeah, man. It was. I think it was way more than everybody expected. A cool event. I think the players loved it just as much, if not more, than the fans. Talking to those guys, they all feel like they were kind of back in travel ball and just having a good time and reliving some old memories of just playing an all-star game. So it was just really fun, whatever that was, a couple weeks together. They really enjoyed it.
For the love of the game. So this, I think, this is demarcation point, because up until then, United States players weren't that interested in this. You think from here on in, with the experience that your guys had, they're gonna go back to their teams and go, guys, you got to be part of this next time around.
Yeah, I mean, you could see all these guys already coming out in the media, like Arenado saying, I don't know how any player doesn't want to play in this, that every pitcher should want to be in it. I think that's the big thing, is next time we need to have our better pitchers in there. And I think they will. A lot of people, like Mike Trout's already on board. He's going to go back and tell people. So, it was a shame not to have DeGrom, Scherzer, all these Verlander. I know they're a little older, but still, like, we could have had a lot more horses in that stable.
Well, and you can talk to this. This is a business decision, right? Is it that the players, from what I can tell, the pitchers want to pitch, but their contracts are so big they can't get insurance? Tell me about the business side of why those guys couldn't pitch.
Yeah, a lot of it comes down to insurance, like the Clayton Kershaw situation. They wouldn't insure us back. So, I can understand that, because, if these guys go out there and get hurt, the insurance comes into the hook for $20-30 million. So I'm not sure on the other bigger guys. I know DeGrom's had a lot of arm injuries, so he probably wasn't the right guy to be in it. But, Verlander, he's been dealing. So, we'll see. I mean, it's just probably a personal preference at that point. They just feel like they didn't want to ramp up that quick, that soon. And but I think it's going to be next time. It's only 3 years away. It's going to come quick. And I think a lot of these guys are going to, want to do it. And we have so many good young pitchers that are, big names coming up. They're just going to keep getting bigger. So, it should be fun to watch.
So you said 3 years. Are they going to get back on that?
Yeah, 2026.
Oh, okay. Because I was talking about that. I was thinking maybe they should come back in 2 years and take advantage of this momentum. So 3 years, not as long. So I think it'll be a different show. Do we know where it's going to be in 3 years?
No, I think it's always going to be like the same thing. They split it up like that. Some in the Asia, couple in the United States, and mix it up a little bit.
Yeah, I think it was good the way they did it. So just in talking to your players, what was the experience like for them? Were they? I'm sure they'd much rather be doing that than that spring training, right?
Yeah, they're funny. They call it like a 2-week summer camp. They get to get away from like their school and go like a 2-week field trip with all the cool people and have a great time. So it was definitely like an experience for them. It wasn't laid back. It was probably some intense games they've ever played. Their bodies, when they, talking with Tucker after a night game, the next day he's like, man, I'm just spent. Like they're usually playing 3 or 4 innings in spring training coming out. Like they're playing full 9-inning games at 100% intensity level. It takes a lot out of adrenaline and all that. So that's a big change. I mean, we'll see how that, if it affects them at all, going forward, to suck out all that juice so early. We won't know the effects, but we'll see.
I was talking about the emotion of it and the crowd and everything that we saw with these games, especially in the Miami ballpark, which I feel like they need to go there every single year for this. But do you think that the World Baseball Classic, maybe, and I don't know if you've spoken to anybody about this, has this become now this is the marquee event in baseball? Like it's not the All-Star game anymore. It's not even the World Series. Did this feel like the marquee event for baseball, especially with the ending that we got last night?
Oh man, it definitely. I think it was like the ratings probably like 2 or 3 times more than the World Series. I mean, that speaks for itself right there.
Exactly.
I mean, you can't replicate what just happened this past week in Miami. The fans, and I was at some of these other games, and there's the passion that they have. If I was the Marlins owner, I would get rid of every American player and get all one country. I'd sign all Venezuelan players and just say, hey guys, here's our Venezuelan only team. And minor leaguers, big leaguers, and just you had every Venezuelan 35,000 packing their stadium with that pride they had. There's enough good players out there to do that. Like that might be something to think about, because the energy that those fan bases had, Cuba and Venezuela and Puerto Rico and all those, like literally they were outnumbering United States fans by 75-80%. It's crazy.
Yeah, that has been, and the passion for the game is what really came through.
Every pitch, they were on their feet. Every 2 strikes, they're yelling this chant about to strike them out. Like it was like a football game atmosphere, like a football or soccer match in Europe. I got to imagine it's like that.
So how do you think MLB capitalizes on that? a little bit? Because a lot of people are saying like I got my energy back for baseball, and a lot of people are like, hey, let's see if MLB can like keep it up now.
I don't think they can because the American fans just have no passion towards the game. A little bit of cheer for their team here and there, but I mean, if I go to a Rays game this year, I'm gonna fall asleep after watching these games.
I normally do it.
Yeah. I'm just saying, like, I don't know, like, we can capture that, especially the pride that they have for their country. Like, people don't have pride for their teams anymore. You have some super fans that follow the Yankees and the Red Sox and all that, but 25 out of 30 teams will never come close to experiencing what just happened.
Yeah, it's interesting. Just even Randy Arozarena himself. If I'm the Rays, I already have billboards up. I'm doing Mexico Day or
right.
Team Mexico, whatever. Because Zach Brady's also on Team Mexico. I have to capitalize on that in some way, shape, or form because Randy is now a world star. He is a world star, and in Mexico, he's a humongous star. I'm sure Stu's already trying to get a Mexican TV deal. Just having Arozarena. Seriously, I mean, there's a lot of money to be made off these guys because of what they're going to collect in terms of fans in Mexico. Certainly for Randy.
Yeah, I mean the international exposure that not only the baseball got, but these players got. I mean, I was kind of selfishly upset that Tucker couldn't play last night because his ankle was still a little tender from game one when he slid in second base, but a chance to play in front of 100 million people.
Exactly.
And that's huge. You have a big moment, you hit a big homer or whatever. Like everybody in the world knows who Trey Turner is now.
Exactly.
Like he's a household name in Japan right now. And
which from
Venezuela,
from an agent standpoint, you'd start doing deals over there right now.
Oh yeah, for sure. For sure. Most of these guys that make $300 million don't want to do marketing though.
Yeah, that's true. It's not worth it, right? You can't
it ain't worth their time.
You can't get a deal big enough.
Hey, here's $50K to go to this appearance for 2 hours. Like, nah, I'm good.
What did the players get paid for WBC?
I think it used to be like $50,000 for winners, $25,000 for second place. That's ridiculous. It should be $500,000 and $250,000. As much money as they're making.
I know. I was just going to say, how much money did WBC make?
Oh my gosh!
And that's Major League Baseball, right?
They're part of it. Yeah, they're all together.
Yeah. So they run, and the players only get $50,000 if they win. So what if they don't get anything if they don't make first or second place?
I don't think so, unless they change it. But that was 2017. That's the way it went down.
Oh my God! Yeah, they've got to get more money than that for sure.
They have enough money to offer every player $1 million, and then really make people win, like the home run derby did. You know what I mean?
So you think the owners are screwing the players here? Really? That happens? Oh my God! I would never think that whatsoever. Hey, Jason Romano joining us here, XL Sports Management. Tell me about what do you see from the Rays this year? Obviously, they didn't go out and get any boppers at all.
Right.
They're try to homegrown their offense and hope it comes back to what you see for the Rays.
Yeah. I mean, I think Wander's got to have a big year. He's got to step up. He's obviously a major piece to that team. The Glasnow situation, got to get him back and healthy. Got to have a horse.
Yep.
So, I've always learned don't count these guys out because every time you think they're not going to be good, here they go. 90, 100 wins.
Right, exactly.
So, I mean, Cash pushes the right buttons. The guys respond, and it looks like some of these bullpen guys they got are really good. So that's going to be a really strong suit, which is big. So if they can just stay in games and starting pitchers are somewhat decent, I mean, I think they're going to be a pain for some of these other, the Blue Jays and the Yankees and the Red Sox. I think the Rays can fall right in there and be probably a second, maybe third place team. I don't know if they'll win it, but you never know. They always find a way to come close to getting those playoffs or getting in them. So
that's for sure.
I'm excited to see how they come out the first month or so, and then we'll have better, gauge of where they're going to go from there.
Well, schedule's soft in April for sure. So if they can get off to a good start, and some of these guys, and Arozarena is such a key. He's a Boris client, so and people are like, "Oh, the Rays should pay him." I'm like, yesterday's price was not today's price with Scott Boras after that WBC.
Yeah, he's gonna sit it out and wait a little bit.
So I think they've got control of him till 27. There's no way they're going to be able to extend him, right? Not with Boras as his agent.
No, the Rays won't offer enough to make him whet his appetite at all. So unless Randy just says, "Hey, I want to do it," like there was a client that fired Boras a couple weeks ago because he wanted to take a deal, like kid from the Nationals, the catcher.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Umberto or something, whatever his name is. But Boris wouldn't let him accept that deal, so he fired him, went to Octagon, and they took the deal.
I mean, that happens sometimes, right? Especially with
I mean, especially the Latin kids. I mean,
take the money.
$70-80 million is a lot of money to their family. So, that's what happened there.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And, well, maybe Randy will do that. I don't know. But as long as Boris is his agent, then the Rays and they're not coming to a deal.
Yeah, it always comes down to the player. The player tells you, I want to do this, and as an agent, you got to respect them, or you got to tell them to fire you. So, all
right, give us an update on some of the local kids. I saw, Brady Singer was in the World WBC. How's he doing? Looking, I saw. I was at the Yankees game the other day, and who was pitching? He struck out Judge.
Nate Pearson. Woody.
Yeah, Woody.
Yeah, Woodford.
Yeah,
they're doing great. Yeah, Jake Woodford from the Cardinals. He's definitely going to probably make that Cardinals team, and be somewhat of a spot starter, but a long man in the bullpen. So he's doing real well. Playing high school graduate. Brady Singer, like you said, he's either going to be the number one, opening day starter, or number 2 behind Greinke. But he's really looking good.
Awesome.
He's got to get back in camp and get back throwing again because he didn't throw that much in the WBC. But Tucker's obviously doing great things there. You saw him in the WBC, and he's getting ready to play in his 4th big league season, and on his way to hopefully getting a big payday one day.
Yeah, when's that happening? What's that deal? What's that deal going to look like?
We'll see. Yeah. It keeps growing every year.
So, are you guys talking extension now with them already, or?
Yeah, there's been some talks. Yeah, their GM's made it public. There's been some talks, but we're not close on anything. So we'll see how it plays out in the next, few months or next year or two.
And he's getting some of that bonus pool money too, right?
Yeah, he did really well with the bonus pool. He, won a Gold Glove. He got into our bonus pool, and he was also second team All MLB, so he made money with that too.
And won a World Series. Not a bad year. Not too bad.
Yeah,
for Tucker.
He's rolling pretty good.
Well, tell him to answer my text. I'm trying to get him on the show. He's probably like, "Who the hell is this guy?" Tell him to come on the show, but it's still spring training, and he's got some time. So
all right.
We'd love to have him on because he's a big favorite here, and I think. I mean, he's got an opportunity to be one of the best to ever come out of this area, right? I mean,
his
talent,
he's a superstar. Yeah, he's arguably top 10 players in the game. And you talk to some of these people that are playing with him on the USA team, they're like, he was right there as one of the best players on that team with Mookie and Trout and everybody else. I mean, he's a legit 5-tool player, which you just don't see too often. It's really him and Mookie are the same type of player.
Yeah, he's twice the size with more power. How many bags is Kyle going to steal this year with these new rules?
I made a bet with him. If he goes 40-40, I buy him one of these golf simulators back here.
40
for his house.
Well, he can do it.
I think he can do it.
And that's crazy to say.
He's been 30-30 and a couple times in minor leagues, and he doesn't even run that much, and he could run more. He knows he can. The bigger bases, the pickoffs, his instincts are unbelievable. So he probably has a better chance to steal 40 than he does to hit 40, but I think he still can hit 40.
Good God.
He's had terrible Aprils. So if this WBC kind of shocks him into getting started earlier, like literally his Aprils, if you look at the past 3 years of big leagues, are awful. Like 080, like 2 for 100.
Wow.
And then he still ends up with 260 with 30 and 100 plus RBIs. It basically takes a month off the first month.
Hey, last question for you. Back to WBC. How many of these Japanese players are going to start coming over? I mean, Japan, I look at their lineup, those players, I mean, especially these young pitchers. Holy hell.
Yeah.
I mean, we're going to see.
Problem is they can't come here till they're 26.
Well, yeah,
got 5 more years.
What's the deal with that?
Yeah, they have a posting international rules that they can't post until they're actually 26 years old. So they have to sit there and play in their leagues, and then once they're done with their major leagues and they're 26 years old, they can come over. So I think the third baseman is probably the next one, Komodo or whatever his name is.
Yeah, that's crazy.
He's almost 26.
And that's because of the Japanese leagues?
Yeah, that's just the rules of their agreement with MLB. So we don't go over there and pluck all their young kids like a draft.
Yeah.
Well, how did that work, though, with Shohei Ohtani? Obviously, because he's been here now for 5 years. Because he's 28 now.
Yeah, I think he came at 25, 26.
Well, he's 28. He's only 28 right now. Didn't he come here in like 18?
I think he came here. Had to come here at 25 unless they changed the age up a little bit.
Wow, I didn't even know that rule.
He hasn't been here more than 3 years, has he?
No, maybe.
I feel like it was like 2018 for some reason that he got here. That's why I was like,
Have to check on that.
My friend here finally came around to the fact that he is, without question, should be the MVP every year, as long as he's pitching
It's hard to argue on that.
And I know it's, you want to give it to different people, but he's just he's a
He's a guy.
player.
Yeah, we're lucky to be watching this. Whew.
Yeah.
I was telling my son last night the same thing. Like, this is not normal.
This is not normal.
Not normal to be jogging from the dugout to throwing the bullpen to come back because you're about to hit again, and like coming in and throwing 100 and then hitting a ball's 100+ month. Like, come on, stealing bases. It's crazy. There's nothing on the baseball field he can't do.
When is he going to another team that's going to matter?
Next year, he's a free agent after this season.
What's that contract going to look like?
$500+ million has to be.
You think
you're
so?
Getting two. You're getting a number one starter, and you're getting a 3-hole hitter. You're getting 2 players for one, like literally 2 A-Rods.
You could probably pay him $600 million, and it wouldn't be enough. You could
There's a reason why Steve Cohen from the Mets was in Japan a couple weeks ago when they were there. That wasn't by it. He wasn't just there flying across the world to watch baseball when they was playing baseball in America here.
Interesting. Yeah, he'll be a Met. Yeah. That's for damn sure. All right, partner. Always good to catch up with you. Go work on
guys.
You got anything charity-wise going on that we need to know about? Anything you want to promote?
Yeah, well, that Bronco, that $100 Bronco raffle we're doing for children's cancer.
That's still going on.
Yeah. I'll send the link to you again if you want to post it again. But basically it's a 2022 Ford Bronco from Bill Curry Ford, all jacked up, really nice truck. We're selling raffle tickets for $100. Only 1,000 tickets being sold. So basically, you have a 1 in 1,000 chance to win a Bronco free and clear for $100.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good for a good cause too.
Yeah.
All right, partner. Always good to talk to you. Let's go to a Rays game soon.
Sounds good.
All right,
see you, bud.
All right, the great Chip Romano there, the BJ Superstore. I gotta go check that place out. I heard
it's fantastic.
I've been to the one in Orlando.
The one in Sarasota, I think, is actually the best one.
Yeah,
it's gigantic.
You've been to this one?
I've been to this one too, but the Sarasota one to me is the best.
Have you been to the Tiger Woods pop shot thing?
I am actually going on Saturday.
Are you?
Yes, with some friends.
Oh, cool. Well,
I'll be there.
We'll have a review of that. I have not been yet.
By the way, I was so interested because we were talking about the posting system. So Ohtani's 28. 2018 he came. That was when he was Rookie of the Year, so he was 23 at the time. So what happened here, I looked it up, because he was younger, his bonus, when he was younger than 25, he was subjected to like these different rules. So the team that signed him had to pay a $20 million posting fee to the Nippon Fighters or whatever in the Japan League. So that's how he got over here. The team has to pay that much money as a bonus as well to the team that he was with in Japan to get him over here. That's how it works.
So you can get him.
So you have to really love the player, and has to be transcendent, like a Shohei Ohtani.
What about Sasaki? Roki Sasaki.
I have to think a team would do that.
$20 million.
They said that they had scouts from they had 64 MLB scouts total that were there for his start against Mexico to see him pitch. And there's already a feeling, they said on the broadcast, that he is the best pitcher in the entire world, 21 years old.
Hard to argue with the stuff I saw.
With what I've seen, it's hard to argue with the stuff. So
he's throwing 102 with the slider at 94.
Yeah,
ridiculous.
Yeah, I got to think he's going to be subject to the Ohtani rules here.
Yeah, teams will step up and pay.
Yeah.
And and it's so ridiculous now that you have finally you have an owner in Cohen, and I think the Dodgers to some respect were doing this too, and the Yankees were when the boss was there. That these guys, these teams' revenues are now in the $500 to $700 million range. The Yankees, the Dodgers, the Mets, in these really big markets, because the deals for them are so much bigger, and they own their own network. So they're that every 2 minutes of commercial time, you're making $200,000. It's just printing money in terms of their local TV deals because of their following in those huge markets. So those teams, if they wanted to spend $400 or $500 million on payroll every year, they could do it and still make money. And that's the crazy part about it. And some of these owners are not in it to enrich themselves for all of their generations. It's a toy, as it should be. If you're an owner of a sporting team, it should not be your reason, your main source of income like it is for Stu.
And I'm not surprised one bit about the Cohen thing, because when we were talking about it in the first segment, and you said Dodgers. The only team that's coming to mind to me is the Mets.
Yeah.
Because right now, Cohen, there's clearly zero limit on that bank account for Steve Cohen, and how many zero he's going to put on that.
And that's the thing. Like I need to research this because you could probably find out. But how much money do these teams make from Japan, that network that carries the games? I don't know if that money goes straight to MLB or if it goes to the team that signs him, because that
I'm
region,
sure MLB's got to be getting some part.
they'll
of
be
that.
getting some of it, but the most of their games are played, like the Rays are on Bally Sports, and then they would feed that to, NHK, I think it is their main sports over there. I'm not exactly sure which one, and that's a lot of money in Japan. That's a ton of money. So you may be paying the guy $500 million, but you could make more than that in the money coming back just in TV revenue. So it's a great investment. If you have the money to invest, it's a great investment, and you win.
Yeah, I was going to get to some of these comments here real quick because we've done a lot of breaks today, so we can get to some of these comments here without a break.
Sure.
A lot of baseball stuff here. And speaking of TV stuff, Lonnie just put this out here, and I saw this too, that the Friday night Apple TV games are no longer free and require a paid subscription. They will offer radio feed as an audio option. Thank God, though, which doesn't surprise me. It was only a matter of time before this stuff was going to be a paid thing.
Yeah.
So
yeah, everything.
Get with the times now, I guess.
MLB, with this Bally's situation, disruption with the bankruptcy, and MLB taking over the production of the games, this is going to lead to basically every team, maybe even MLB as a whole, combining and basically doing their own production work, and watching baseball games is going to be a subscription-only type thing. I don't have a problem with that, because right now in the cable system, the way it's been forever, you're paying for 400 channels you never watch. So if I have to pay $20 a month to watch the games I actually want to watch, and I'm not paying $200 a month in cable, I'm making money. Making money on this deal.
Understand, but you know how I hate having to just bounce from app to app to app to app to app. It's annoying. The Apple TV, even when it was free last year, I found the Apple TV broadcast just very bootleggy. I guess I don't know if that's the right word for it, but it didn't feel like this was Friday Night Baseball to me.
Yeah, quality suffers.
Quality suffers a lot.
Yeah.
We got
the same thing with Amazon Football this year.
Yes, that's my only thing.
Didn't feel big at all.
In the name of making more money and constant cash flow and things like that, the quality of all these broadcasts and these games is going downhill.
But at some point, somebody's going to come up with a package that's just like, I'll pay $60 a month and just give me all sports. I don't care about, TLC and Bravo and all those other crappy stations.
I care about Bravo.
I don't give a rat's ass about it. You can watch all the stupid MILF Manor you want. I don't care. I want to watch my Lightning, my Rays, my Buccaneers, my other NHL games. Don't need any of the NBA. I'm good. Just the things that I want to watch. Those are, it ain't much. I got about 20 stations total.
And there's no incentive for any of these TV companies to do it because they're just going to lose money.
Right. So you got to a la carte everything.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to watch. I don't want to get Apple TV just because I want to watch Ted Lasso. But that's the way. That's how they get you. That's how they get you. They just need one show. Just one show that you got to watch.
Yep.
That's how they get you.
Hey, also, Lonnie, you can get to this story now because we had teased it. The Fanatics with the NHL.
Yes. Let's get into this. I'm not a online apparel purchaser because, number one, I like to support our local shops like Heads and Tails and some of the local places. And plus, you got to try it on. You got to fit it. You got to feel the fabric.
And I hate having to return things. It never goes to plan.
No, it's supposed to be so easy to return. No, it's not. It's not easy. I returned something the other day, not of an apparel, to T-Mobile. And, of course, you didn't turn it back, and they charged my account $275. And I'm like, how can you just do that? I sent it back 2 months ago. You have it. And they're like, our bad. We'll refund the money.
Yeah.
And it'll be in your account in 24 hours. Still waiting a week and a half later. Going to have to call it. And that was the night I waited 60 minutes on the phone to get to somebody.
If you order from Fanatics, you'll probably have the same experience.
Exactly. That's why I'm talking about it.
Fanatics is the worst monopoly in the history of monopolies.
Somebody called it the Ticketmaster of apparel.
And that is so accurate.
Bingo.
It is so accurate. Fanatics, and it's like you go on Dick's Sporting Goods website, you go on Lids' website, you go to any sports apparel website you go to, it's just Fanatics' browser. That's all it is.
Yeah.
And they control everything. And they've done this a lot with the NHL, which now obviously it's going to stay. But like I wanted to buy a Stanley Cup shirt. I remember when the Lightning won 2 years or 3 years ago. And I ordered a size large, and usually like this is a large and it's got a little room in it. The large for them, the sleeve is like up to here.
Yeah.
It's narrow as all hell through here, and in the back it's like swallowing me. Like,
and then you got to send it back.
and then I got to send it back, and then it's like I don't even want to order another one from you now.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's cheaply made. It's super thin. I can't tell you how many times like you wash it one time, and all of a sudden the threads are all slinging everywhere, left and right.
You're charged the premium for it.
And this is the stuff that they make these players wear after they win championships. It's the same thing. And then you sell this to people, and it's crappy quality. I can't stand the Fanatics monopoly, and the fact that the NHL is going to do this. I mean, I know you're not the jersey guy, but there's a lot of people who are big on jerseys. I have my Lightning Adidas jersey, which I love. I'm not buying this Fanatics garbage. It's cheaply made. Have you seen the Fanatics jerseys they sell?
No. I've never been on their website.
They're horrendous. And when you get them, sometimes you get them and it's like the number's not even there. The name is spelled wrong. There's something always wrong when you order something from Fanatics. You don't get it in time. Either you don't get it when you're supposed to or you never get it at all. And then eventually they send you a refund like months later down the line with no customer service skills whatsoever.
Jeez, oh Pete!
Everybody hates Fanatics.
I have some connections to people at Fanatics here locally. I got to kind of drill down. I know some people that work for them, so I'm going to look into it and see what the hell they're doing.
Yeah, because the NHL fans are having a meltdown.
Yeah,
a meltdown over this, and also reverse retro, which was very popular. Bye, gone.
These are some of the things I have to teach you about because you know what this is, right? This is what's going on.
Well, go ahead.
This is called the monopoly.
Yeah.
All right. This is when they pay off politicians to get larger shares of, like now we used to have 15, 25 cell phone companies.
Yeah.
Now basically we have 4. Everything is being condensed into these major corporations, and when they have all the power, they don't give a rat's ass about you. It works the same way in politics. They tell you it's all going to be better, socialism, communism. Everybody gets the same. The rich people won't be complete BS. Everything falls apart. This is a microcosm, and this is why I don't care about politics. I'm not going to pay attention to it. It doesn't matter. This is a microcosm of what's going to happen to your life, and you're going to be under the Fanatics rule for the rest of your life.
I've been under Fanatics rule for like 6 years.
You're not going to get any customer service. You're not going to get any redress at all of your grievances. And this is what's coming for you. So you know.
Oh, God. Like how's it going to look though? Seriously, I'm just going to put everything you said to the side. But how's it look though? Honestly, when you see like the NFL and the NBA and the MLB too, like they got all this nice. They got the Nike swoosh logo, right? It's identifiable. It feels big time. No, you see the Adidas logo. It feels big time.
Yeah, absolutely.
You see this stupid little F down there that says Fanatics with that freaking large ass tag they put on it, and you think that feels big time? That's a professional sports league?
No,
not at all.
It's so funny. I was wearing my FSU sweatshirt last night because it was a little chilly on the roof last night. I was walking Tally, and that thing is literally. I got that when I was in college, 1982. It was a team issue. Has no corporate markings on it whatsoever. It's Florida State football, and that thing has. It's literally from 1982, and it's as good today as it was. It's actually better. It's still there's not one fray on it because it's quality. It was made with quality. I've probably got 5 or 10 things in my closet that I've had for like 25,
it's the
30
same thing,
years
like
because it's quality.
Yeah, it's the
this
same
stuff
thing with
you put it in the wash one time, it's done.
Oh, it's done. And I like to put everything like T-shirts usually that are cotton. I like to put in the dryer because they don't hang good at all. Right. And I put them in the dryer, and it's like even though I tumble it low and all this stuff, it still comes out, and it's super shrinky.
Yeah.
It's like everything's designed to shrink or something. It's cheaply made, like flannels, for example.
Because everything's made
have you
in
seen,
China.
Like flannels now are not. They're not flannels.
Yeah. No.
Like,
that's not flannel. The old flannel was nice, man. You just want to wrap yourself in an old flannel shirt.
Everything's so thin,
and it felt
and
good.
they call it a flannel, and they sell it for $60.
That's not a flannel.
Pawn that on me.
That old Navy thing they call flannel. That ain't flannel. Hell no, that ain't flannel. No. What's that? There's an online one that Duluth. That's real flannel.
Duluth Trading.
Yeah, that's real flannel. Yeah, man.
Yeah, because that's like a Carhartt type deal.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. And you gotta be able to feel that.
Translation: everything sucks.
Hey, Richie P says, get that link out for the Ford raffle for Children's Cancer Center. Yeah, we'll do it right after the show. I'll get it out on my Twitter and Instagram and all that stuff. It's really cool and for a great cause. So, yeah, buy that. $100 gets you in. So, speaking of TV, had to get this in from Lonnie. Trisha will be the on-field reporter, so that makes the subscription worth it.
Trisha's got a lot of fans.
She does. She's fantastic. She's great. Oh, gosh. Did I ever tell you the story about the first time she came on my show when I was on with Ron? And yes, every question he asked was like this sexist. Like, it was all about, it had nothing to do with baseball. It was all about her being a woman. And I'm trying to bring it back to baseball. I'm like, so awkward. I'm like, okay. And afterwards, it was an awkward interview. She was just like, I don't know. It wasn't good. It wasn't my fault, Tricia. That's all I'm saying. What else? Any other comments on here we want to get to? Friday night Apple TV games are no. Oh yeah, we already did that one. They own every single online shop for every league aside from, say, a Dick's Sporting Goods or TB Sports Store, which is limited anyways. The Ticketmaster of sports apparel. How do you get around it? How do you get around it?
I don't know. I mean, even like when I get Ray's stuff, like I get a lot of stuff from Ray's Republic because they have their own. They kind of sell their own stuff there.
Yeah.
But no, it's the same thing though for Dick's Sporting Goods though. It's the same exact thing. Everything you see in Dick's Sporting Goods is at Fanatics.com and it's all their stuff. And there's a little thing that says Fanatics licensed apparel on the ticket.
Yeah. I wonder if the NHL cares about that and that their fans are pissed off.
Well, the NHL always loves pissing off their fans. I mean,
yeah, they've been doing that a lot lately.
They've been doing. Bettman's been doing that for like 20 years. Come on.
Yeah. All right. What others? Do we have to take a break or no?
Yeah, we got to take one more break.
Okay, one more break. Let's hit the break, and then we'll come back. We'll finish up with some of the other story. Oh, we got to hit the Lightning after last, so we didn't talk much about them today. Let's hit the Lightning and get set for next game. They played okay last night against Montreal. We'll get into that a little bit. Golden Diamond Source, Italiano Insurance, thanks to you. American Mortgage Services, BAMMC.com. We'll be back in 3. Hey guys, JP here for the Gold and Diamond Source. There is no better place to shop for jewelry than the Golden Diamond Source. We know that. They are the family jewelers, and they will treat you like family. It's always a fun experience. Just head on over there. You will not find a better selection anywhere in the world. It's a jewelry super center. They've got engagement rings, necklaces, earrings, pendants, chains, and thousands of diamonds to choose from. They're all right there. They don't have to ship anything in. They have jewelry for every price range as well. Guys, if you're looking for some of those baller watches, they have a great selection. They have new and used. You can get some great collectibles there as well. And if you're looking for some more affordable gold and diamond jewelry, you have to check out the Emily collection from Emily Johnson Weintraub. Emily created this collection for people who want to wear and stack elaborate jewelry but don't want to pay the big ticket prices. You got to check this stuff out. The Golden Diamond Source has plenty of options to accommodate any budget, interest-free financing for up to 5 years, and a layaway program, 20% down and only 6 monthly payments. And this month only, get up to 15% off the March birthstone, which is aquamarine. Like we always say, keep it local, folks. The Golden Diamond Source, Julie and Steve Weintraub, such great philanthropic benefactors. So let's keep it all local here when we have the opportunity, right? It's the Golden Diamond Source, 3800 Olmerton Road, always online at thegoldendiamondsource.com. Insurance coverage can be confusing and expensive. I mean, where do you start? Which companies can you count on to pay out fast and fair? Well, call the great folks at Italiano Insurance. It's a family-owned business. Jeff and Nat Italiano are carrying on the 60-year-plus tradition of giving amazing customer service and giving back to the community through their annual backpack drive for needy students and their support of the local pediatric cancer patients. But it's the customer service that sets them apart. They can shop all your insurance needs and save you big-time money. Don't hop on the internet and waste time looking at some bogus reviews. Talk to knowledgeable agents and not some voice-generated robot. These are confusing times for homeowners, and Italiano's team of experienced professionals can provide the right coverage for every situation. Home, auto, business, life. It's Italiano for all the pieces of your life. Call 813-877-7799 or go to ItalianoInsurance.com.
pure sports. JP is back on.
Welcome back.
FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to JP Peterson Show. Brought to you by Jeeves Law Group and the Bay Area Modern Medical Center, BAMMC.com. Well, you just told me a very interesting story. Mike Bray interviewed for the USF job, and he told Pete Thamel that they didn't even offer him the job.
Yeah, they did not offer him the job. And he's going to take some time off and pursue television this upcoming season.
Well, I mean, we talked about this yesterday. If, Mike Bray quit in the middle of the season at Notre Dame, saying they've lost momentum there in the new NIL world, he was, has a great resume, 25 and 26, 2015-16 took Notre Dame to the Elite Eight. That's big-time stuff, to go back-to-back Elite Eights at Notre Dame. I mean, the guy clearly knows what he's doing in terms of coaching at basketball. But the world has changed. NIL has changed and everything. And, he's 64 years old. Is he coming here to, grab a paycheck for 3 years and not really invigorate the program? Or is he coming here to really, make something of this program? And evidently Michael Kelly got the feeling that it was the latter and not the former. And that's why they didn't offer him the job. Or you could say that, here are these big-name coaches that are interested in USF, Deion Sanders, Mike Bray, Frank Martin, who we know have all had some interest in USF, and none of them have become their coaches because they're big players, they're big personalities, they're big money, and in some ways you relinquish a lot of control as an athletic director to big personality coaches like that. And if you want to be in the big time, that's what you have to do. You got to step up, if you were sitting there right now and you had Frank Martin and Deion Sanders as your coaches at USF, what would the fandom be like? What would it be? What would it look like right now? And you could say, well, Deion wasn't coming here. He was coming here if they would have paid him, but they at no point were going to pay him what he wanted. And somebody was going to pay him, and Deion knew that, and he got the money from Colorado. And, we see what he's done in recruiting. He hasn't won a game there yet. We'll see how it goes.
I did want to add, though, real quick, because like you had just mentioned it there about the NIL. He's older now. Can he still recruit and all that? And I did want, in all fairness, because I did look this up, Notre Dame this was this past year's recruiting class, was in the top 20, and he recruited a 5-star.
There you go.
To Notre Dame.
There you go.
And a couple 4-stars. So he still has the ability to do it.
Right.
Just for whatever reason.
But that's at Notre Dame, too.
That's at Notre Dame, yes. Right. But I think either way, the name value alone, it really would have been a nice splash to have. It would have made USF feel good about something.
Yes, it would.
Especially in a conference that I think is very gettable.
Yeah, to me, from the outside, it looks like a major F-up. Like, why would you not want Mike Bray as your coach?
But again, Michael Kelly, it's like
I didn't interview him.
We don't know what was said in that room.
No, we have no idea, and we have.
So to me, it's hard to really go in on USF on this.
Right, it really is. We don't know. We don't know what that is. But I can, from the outside, simplistically looking at it, having two big-name coaches would have been better than having two coaches that nobody knows their names. And again, Alex, he did some media yesterday. I saw on one of the shows last night, and he wasn't smacking his gum, so that was good.
You're so caught up on him smacking his gum. You got in my head today, too, because when I got out of the car this morning, I went to go get a piece of gum, and I said, you know what? Can't go on the show with this piece of gum.
No, you can't.
I can't go on the show with this piece of gum.
You cannot go on the show with gum.
No, I already knew that to begin with.
That's Broadcast 101.
I already knew that to begin with, but I expertly got on it this morning because I thought of you for a second.
Well, good. I'm glad I had a good
there you go.
made a good impression on you. So he wasn't smacking his gum. It's like, oh, that's good. He looks a lot more mature and a lot better speaking, and he's evidently getting through spring practice with no nonsense, and hopefully we'll have him on the show soon. And listen, again, I'm pulling for him, but I mean, USF, they're building the stadium. Everything looks, they're on the road towards it, but you've got to win, and you've got to get coaches. Coaches win. This is what
players win too, and I'm starting today, March 22nd.
Well, good coaches, big name coaches bring big players.
March 22nd, 2023. The Byron Brown for Heisman campaign starts right now.
All Golish talked about in the segment I saw last night was how Gary Bohannon was such a great leader.
You know what? I love Gary Bahant. We had Gary on.
Yeah,
Great
great
story.
young man.
Great young man.
Great leader.
And now this is where I tear you
Seems
down.
like it.
This is where I
Seems
tear
like
you
it.
down now as I set you up. No, but he'll serve a role. But Byron Brown's a guy. If USF wants prosperity this season and into the future, Byron Brown.
I don't disagree with you.
Look at the schedule. I'm telling you.
I don't disagree with you. What is Alex?
I know they lost a lot of talent around him, but I'm a Byron Brown. I'm all in. I'm all in on Byron Brown.
Okay.
For the Heisman.
Okay, then. All right. Another great story out there is the Cavender twins, Haley and Hannah, who transferred from Fresno State to Miami. Now Miami's women's team is in the into the Sweet 16. They upset who was the number 1 seed? They upset Indiana. And these are the blonde girls that have 4.4 million TikTok followers and Instagram followers, have been making millions as influencers, and now they're actually jumping into the fray as really, really good players. Haley is, I believe, their leading scorer, and Hannah comes off the bench. So yeah, interesting. The women's game is getting a lot of attention for this
tournament. The
ratings,
I believe, have been way up this year too.
Yeah, and I see I want to watch Caitlin Clark play at Iowa. These are girls that they're pulling from the freaking logo like nobody's business. I mean, it's a good watch. I gotta say, it's a good watch, and I'm like almost more than the men's to be honest with you.
Ooh, I can't go that far.
Yeah, okay.
I can't get there.
Okay, all right. We'll take another 22-hour break, and we'll be back tomorrow with more fun and frivolity. Thanks to Scott Reynolds for joining us here today, and Jason Romano on the WBC. Good interviews today, so check those out. You can always listen to us on the app. Download the app, FanStream Sports, all one word, or you can watch us on RHS TV now. Check out the RHS TV and app, and you can download that as well and watch us. And we'll see you tomorrow.